Hello, everybody. Back for part two. So for those of you that didn't have your question answered in the first section, we're going to do it now. I'm going to start first with members, which is why I temporarily turned off general chat. But if you have a question and I have time and I think I can get through this, I'll open it up at the end for some additional supers or PayPal questions. But I just want to start here with the members. Then we'll go to Patreon. Then I'll open it up. So welcome back, everyone. Thank you for the extra time. I've been dealing with a sinus infection and I had to go to an ENT to actually get some additional stuff, and we'll talk about that another time, but self-care basically comes first, so thank you. Plus, I kind of like splitting it up in two, like my voice is okay, so I think in the future I will just break it up a little bit more, so more to come on that. Okay, so I left off with Marilena on the last one, and Carolyn... we did talk to Carolyn. I remember looking at your writing efforts, and I was saying it's the next thing that kind of takes it to the next zone. So don't give up, but don't expect this current one to kind of like do all the heavy lifting. So it's an encouragement, but also a little bit of reality on that. Okay, so I know we left off with Karen. Now let's go to Crystal Marie. And I'm just going to the members post tab, and I'm going from the oldest to the newest. And I think I got everything that was held and brought it back into that list as well. So please put the questions there. I will check chat afterwards, but it's easier for me to go on one long list than to kind of like interact with the chat all the time. Okay. So the next question comes from Crystal Marie. What would benefit me right now so that I can be my happiest self and spread that to others? That's a nice question. All right, we might mix it up and pull some oracles here in this portion. We'll see. All right. In fact, let's take a look here. What would benefit me right now so I can be my happiest? Creating a better balance in your life, for sure. Sometimes we focus so much on making others happy that we don't always get what we want. And being your own unique self. This is like a rainbow. It's everything under the rainbow. So making sure that whatever your sort of flavor of life is, that you're not trying to change it to make someone else happy. Yeah, the star in reverse. Don't dim your light, my friend. Don't dim your light. But more specifically, let me just see what your energy looks like, past, present, future. Okay, so right now, one piece of advice right now is there's something, it could be a limiting thought or belief. It might even just be the environment that you're in. It certainly isn't in balance with what I see that you've been doing as far as your work goes. Like, it feels like the work on yourself, very good, and great ideas, great opportunities in the future. There's something about right here, right now that needs to be resolved. So we'll just pull a quick card on that. And it is balance. I mean, how many different ways are we going to... If there's someone who's wronged you, balance and justice are just saying it's time to right that wrong. If you're giving too much and not receiving enough, time to create balance there. And literally, we could be looking at your budget, your schedule, things of that nature, and just creating more harmony there. That will help you spread that love. That actually is a perfect answer to that, because sometimes we, just like I had to learn, I got to split this up. I can't go for 4 hours. So create that balance, and what a beautiful card that is. Two-Spirit is basically showing that unlike this planet where we're forced to sometimes put ourselves into a box, you can have divine masculine and feminine, or like two souls within, and have that marriage. It doesn't always have to be so binary. We can embody all these different things. So hopefully we'll get there one day. But there are certain individuals in indigenous tribes too, where they have that sort of energy of both genders. And so it's in our modern day, it's really about not putting ourselves in a box. If you want to do this, if you want to wear that, if you want to express yourself this way, do it. And I think that's a good message for everybody. Worry a lot less about what other people are thinking. Okay, thanks for that nice message or question, Crystal. Cheryl, hang on to my long-term employee who is working at about 10%. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. No matter how many incentives and noted concerns. Ugh, okay. So I feel like it's not so much like should you, but like what do I do with this person? But let me just look at your employee. Okay. Long-term employee who's working at 10%. So they're not even trying. All right. What does this employee think of the job? Clearly they're not that into it, but Yeah, I feel like they've got more than one foot out the door. This is just a place to be. They've got their own side hustle too. I think that's part of this. And it's not creative enough. It's just not their shtick. So how can you reach them, and should you? So you can talk about growth opportunities, but these are they're done. Honestly, it's hard because I've been in management positions before. Sorry, I got to go to lighter glasses because my sinuses are hurting. But sometimes it's just good to get real and say, I mean, you have to talk to HR on these things, but if it's something where it's about where can you find the mutual agreement? Like, I'm not expecting this to be your end all be all, but I am expecting this, this, and this. I think they're getting close to, having the conversation of, if you don't make these strides, then we're going to have to put you on a plan or something. Because at 10%, I can tell that they're not interested, but at 10%, it's actually hurting your business, right? So I think you want to try to reach them first and say, is there something wrong? Am I not clear on my goals? What are you looking for your own growth and expansion? And then if that's still not working, you have to protect yourself because you're paying for something that's not there. So will this end up okay? Like the conversation. They're not going to listen. So if you end up putting them on a plan, that's probably where I think they'll quit. So back in my management days, it went one of two ways. I only had to do that twice to someone on two different places that I worked. But one time they thrived, and my boss came back and they're like, well, that was a solution we didn't think would happen. They just thrived. So sometimes they work, especially because I'm a nice person and I wanted it to work. I said, you need to try this. Can I help you with this? Like, I really set them up for success, and they blossomed and got like the best review ever. So sometimes it works. You give them the path. If they don't take it, another one just left before the time was up. They were like, I quit. So I feel like it's inevitable. It's time. Okay? Do what you need to do from a legal perspective. I am not a lawyer, but I do remember you need to work with HR. You need to work with HR, you need to work with a lawyer, and you need to cover your bases, but they are actually not carrying their end of the bargain. Where's the other 90%? All right. Hope that helps. Sorry you're going through it. Oh, David, good to see you again. So you said you have an opportunity to teach youth agriculture and ranching. That sounds fun. Do you think I should take it or keep focusing on astrology or balance both? Okay. I like that you gave me the option of both too. So let's look at teaching youth agriculture and ranching. I think you'd have a good time doing this. I'll look at the success in a second too. I'm just pulling one card for each. Continue with astrology. Already the ranching is winning. Combine the two. It may be hard to make enough time for both, because I do feel like the kids will be a handful, and there's going to be a lot involved with teaching. But I'm going to ask now more specifically, show me fulfillment and potentially resources. Show me the money. Yeah. It is hands down the agriculture and ranching. I think you're going to have a good time. I think it's inspirational. I think it'll open up new opportunities. An ace is really good if we're looking at money. For the astrology, it's just think of it as a not now, and then you can always weave it in. If one of the things to kind of like do the hermit, you could look at learning more, so expanding. You could teach, or you need to get out. Like, both of these are cloaked cards. So she has blindfolds on and he's hidden, but he has a lot to offer. So you have to find a way to promote yourself, and I think that will help. That's probably the missing piece, actually, even though I wasn't seeing it happen here. I think that's it. Like, how are you creating a platform so that people can find you and value you and connect with you? So I think start with the agricultural piece, and then start to build your own confidence and platform and visibility. And then this can become something too, and we can look at it at another time. But I felt good even when I was like, that sounds like fun. So as long as you're on board, I would say the teaching the youth would be great. Thank you for your question. Good luck. All right, Daniel Sander. I started medical treatment 2 weeks ago, and the plan is to finish it at the end of January. I very much need your opinion about this plan. Okay, one more time. I was looking at chat. I started medical treatment 2 weeks ago, and the plan is to finish it at the end of January. Okay, so we want to see what's going on with this. First of all, how is your body reacting? Again, I don't feel like I have to put it up every time. When I look at a medical question, I will do my best to see the energy of it. Always work with your doctor, but you asked, so I'll look. All right, energetically, how is this faring? It takes time for this to take hold. So it is working, but the Five of Wands shows that it's probably 3 months for a reason. It's fighting. Whatever it's doing, it's doing its work. But this is a work card. So show me November. It's much better. You should start to feel much more of an impact in November. High Priestess is also healing. December, yeah, December's better. And then finishing up in January, it looks like it's done. I actually think the course makes sense. You're probably not seeing the results that you expect yet. It takes time to get in your system. You said 2 weeks. Okay, that makes sense. Like there's a spray that I can't take right now because I have too many other medications that I'm doing for this sinus infection. But there are certain medications that will take up to 2 weeks just to get into your system. And it's kind of doing that here. Next month is when it really kicks in, and the month after that. And it does feel like January's good. Did you make the right move? Yes, you did. 6 of Wands. Looks good. Keep up with it. Don't give up. And keep me updated and see if next month feels a little bit better. I'm glad you found this. I got all good cards on it, so congrats on that, okay? I'll pull one oracle card just for, let's go to the archangels on this and see if there's a healing message from the archangels. Got two, one reversed, one upright. So the reversal was Sandalphon, building the bridge. Your role is to create a connection between. Okay, so I feel like it's the groundwork. This is the groundwork right now, the first 2 or 3 weeks. And then we have Yophiel coming through, trust in the unfolding. Don't get impatient, let it go its course. Also, this is really cool too. It says there's no wrong choice, no wrong path, only choices that take you closer or further from love. I feel like you're headed in the right direction. So don't overthink it, okay? Moving onward to Miss Joy Christine. You're welcome, glad to do this. You said you've been down and in tears. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You'd like to know what the message is for you. Okay. Deep breath. By the way, if you've just joined, put yourself in that circle of light that we so often use. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters. Again, welcoming in insight for the highest good. Just in case you don't do that before joining, I like to reinforce it. What's the message for Miss Joy Christine? Oh, wow. Okay, well, no wonder you're in tears. There's a lot going on. This is like perfectly illustrating, like, I love that they have a mask on this one. It feels like there's been a big reveal, or the mask has come off for a person, place, or thing in your life, and it's revealed something bigger. Either you know who you are, or you know who someone isn't, and it's like this big awakening moment. Give it time. It's actually super healthy that the tears are coming. You're processing the emotions, and then I do feel like you're going to feel so much better after that good cry. The challenge right now, and this has been something I've seen time and again for everybody, is achieving better balance in your life. It feels like your time, your budget, your resources just need to be reined in a little bit. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself more. Is there a reason that the Tower came through? That's what I want to know as a reader. Okay, so the Four of Cups is interesting. It can be kind of like this hidden blessing. Something's right in front of you, but either because of your expectations, your fears, or just being distracted, you miss it. So this Tower is to kind of pull you out of that way of thinking or being. There's a silver lining. I can tell you this much, Joy. The silver lining is there, and you have the Ace of Cups that was hidden under the Tower, and you have in the Four of Cups that floating ace. So love or good news or a new sense of grounding. Sometimes you have to lose it before you can find it. And I feel like that's kind of like where you're at right now. So create better balance in your life. Let the tears flow, and really focus on your heart. What is your heart telling you to do? Because getting those Ace of Cups coming, messages, it's really about making sure that you're not denying yourself something that makes you happy. Listen to your heart. Okay? It will get better. It will get better. Let me just pull one oracle card with respect to that. Facing my shadow removes darkness from the world. So you have the world and you have the tower, and it's shaking you free from something that no longer serves you. And here's something radical, and I think these readings benefit everybody that shows up, because you're probably going to hear something here that will help. But sometimes when your quote unquote worst fear happens, then everything else in life becomes suddenly more manageable, because it can only go up. And I really do feel like things can only go up from here. And that the shadows only exist when there's a source of light. Who's casting the light? You. The block is the thing that is creating the shadow. So you're removing the block and the shadow will go away. Shadows are just showing you where the light is blocked, okay? Let me see if there's one thing that you can do to get through the block. Okay, don't beat yourself up for anything that you've done wrong. Don't burn yourself out. And don't hold back the tears. Process them. But this also represents a full stop. It will get better, but reach out and get some support if you need to, because this is one of the more intense cards, so you don't have to deal with Ten of Swords alone, okay? I hope that helps. There was a lot that came through. All right, Bun 3336. Okay, as a non-parent, I would love advice or direction from ancestors on recognizing my needs and reparenting myself. Okay, so inner child stuff. Help healing childhood trauma and neglect. Okay. So let's look at you, past, present, future. Past being whatever wounds would be there, present showing what they might exist still. Let's see. So there is something wonderful about the Fool, because they don't carry much, just that little knapsack. And we are sometimes cheated of the frivolity and the lightheartedness and the carefree energy of the Fool as we start to grow up. So if you look at the big contrast between the Fool and the Ten of Wands, this person couldn't be more burdened if they tried. And this person has everything they need in that little sack there. So less is more is definitely what's coming through. And you don't have to fix everyone. You don't have to please everyone. You don't have to work so hard. You don't have to stress so much, because what I see here coming in the future is stress. So it's about releasing those tendencies sometimes to fix, sustain, or push something to happen. You don't have to do so much. Wands are great because you can step back several times and still be successful. It's one of the few suits where there really aren't that many negative cards in the suit of Wands. So do less, but do it better, and finish whatever you've started, because you're actually one step into something new. Stress management is so important right now. If you could just see your worth, you would probably stop stressing about, am I going to be accepted? Will this be okay? Just really feel that sense of, I'm ready to receive what I know I deserve because I really value who I am and what I'm doing. As far as like delegating the energy here, you have to lead by example, and you might have to just sort of like each day step into that personal leadership energy, like, okay, let's push through this. Let's see what we can do. And let's see if there's one thing that inner child needs. You wanted to reparent yourself. So how can you get back to the Fool? If there's anything that you need to say, it's a perfect time to say it. Clear your karma. If there's someone that you need to say, I love you, I'm sorry, or goodbye to, even if they're not on the planet, it still works when they're out of the sort of material realm. So now would be a great time to do any and all of the aforementioned. Let's see if there's anything else. Gratitude is amazing. It says for the earth, but just gratitude in general. For anything, just the ability to recognize a problem before it gets worse, the ability to see the silver lining, the ability to lean on others for support, to just be able to get up each and every day. There's so many things that you can put into that gratitude journal that will help change the attitude and change the outcome as well. I hope that helped. I actually feel like you're doing pretty well. It's just this. The inner child had an easier time just letting it go, and you don't have to do so much. Very rarely do I get that message, but you're actually working too hard. It's the antithesis of the 10%er that I was reading just a moment ago. So that's kind of what I'm getting there for you. All right? Thank you so much. Okay, next question. Coming from just a long username, user KQ1W7Q something, something, something. So if you have a long username without a name, here's what I'm looking at for this. You said, "Hi, Nicholas, is there a message from my guides that I need to hear? Please and thank you." Thank you for the please and thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so to the user with a bunch of numbers and letters, what do you need to know? You're doing all right, my friend, whoever you are. We have the star coming through, which represents a close connection to spirit and source. I wouldn't be surprised if you're embarking on a spiritual journey or just really tuned in. She's holding the star from the Hermit's lantern, which is beautiful. So it feels like you're comfortable in your skin. Good on you. Six of Cups in reverse, a longing for a deeper connection. I mean, I think join the club, right? We all have it. But knowing who you are and just trusting and being patient in this moment will help attract the right kind of partnerships, activities, and opportunities. And you are being guided. This beautiful iridescent rainbow of a temperance card is saying, you got to listen. Spirit speaks in a whisper. It's not always like obvious. And paths are often subtly revealed to you. So make sure you're taking time to tune in and look around. For the person that I got the Four of Cups, it's a very similar message. It's not all... Sometimes it is like right there, but you don't recognize it. So it's just taking time to tune in. But generally speaking, these are three amazing cards. Don't rush and don't worry when it comes to the partnerships or the connections. Have some fun in the moment as well and connect with kindred spirits so that, so that you can continue to vibe high in the star energy. Okay? All right. And I answered Regina's already. All right. Rhiannon Sloan, I guess it is. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with us. Life has been a little overwhelming lately, so I'd love to hear any messages that Spirit has for me, please. Okay. What does Rhiannon need to know? All right. I can see the struggle or the diligence, if you will, that's been put into finding a better balance in your financial life, but also just maybe in your life in general. And so keep it up. This card was reversed. Don't be afraid to continue to advocate. It takes a while, especially if you're consistently over-delivering and people just get used to that, for you to push back and say, no, I can't do this, or I need more of this. Boundaries and articulation of what it is that you need and want. Keep doing that, more of that. Four of Swords in reverse, rest. It feels like you might be overworking yourself. I do see a lovely card here in the outcome. Because this is rest. So we see the work and we see the payoff here, but you don't want the burnout to get in the middle of it. So we have the King of Pentacles here. I do think you're going to get into a better place when it comes to security, money, and just feeling stable and everything, right? Okay. Very good. All right, so let's take a look at the next question. Newbird70 started to ask a question, then I heard you say 17 minutes a day, and I already think I have my answer. Grateful for everything you do, and we just got a card here. And the energy you keep sharing with us or supporting us. Okay. So it looks like you didn't articulate the question. So I'm going to pull three cards. So you already do know how to solve this. The Magician came through and it's saying, trust your vision in this moment. Right here, right now, it's okay to take a step back. The Knight of Wands is normally moving forward on an idea, pushing and leading and creating. But sometimes it's important to take a step back and say, do I like the path that I'm currently on? Do I need to make any sort of changes? And she's tuning in to see, like, have I missed something? Is there something that needs to be focused on? The Two of Wands also is reminding you in that daily practice to make sure that you're spending a little bit of time each day to reset. Like, this is what I plan to do today. Even just a positive affirmation. Today is going to be better than yesterday. Today I'm going to work more on this. But overall, these two cards work together. Empowerment. The Two of Wands empowers the Magician, and the Knight of Wands needs to step back to see the big picture and make some small changes so that they don't go too far down one path and then have to do like course correction. So it's worth taking the time right here, right now. Okay? All right, Amitabha. Even though I want to be altruistic, I feel the need to focus on my core right now. I feel stuck. What is the best way to approach getting unstuck? Okay, lots of questions, so we'll work through them. There's more, but I'm going to just take it one at a time. Excuse me. Show me what's going on with altruism. Why are you having a hard time? Exhaustion. I mean, and I think there just does come a point where you've given as much as you can, and you're there. Focusing on your core right now. Yes. Yes. So this is depletion. This is a lack of vitality. This is recharging. So you're not being selfish. You're being self-aware. There is a difference. You feel stuck. Why are you stuck? Well, the Chariot in reverse, sometimes we end up on a path that we don't understand why we're there. Sometimes we get dragged along because of parents, friends, society. Sometimes we just get dragged along because of the momentum of our own sort of like self-perpetuating success on a certain path, but there may be a lack of fulfillment on that path. So you can turn the Chariot in any direction. And it feels like you need more autonomy, more independence, more voice. That's why this is reversed. Okay, let me see. I'm just doing one for each of these little questions here. How can I unlock my potential and create positive momentum in my life? Travel is one way. Pivoting and doing something completely different. Like the world is expanding your world view. You don't actually have to move or travel to embrace the energy of the world. It can be distribution, publishing. It can be expansive activities that open your heart, mind, and energy. So anything that does any of that. But travel can be part of that too. Okay? And one for the road. Anything else that you need to know? You've got this. We have the Knight of Wands in the upright position. I feel like things will take off once you've recalibrated here a little bit. It's okay to tune in and take care of yourself right now. Thanks for your question. Okay, squish-bish. All right, let's see what your question is. How can I better deal with my youngest sibling to close out former business ties and address my family matters and still maintain boundaries? Okay, so it looks like business and family overlapped on this, and you're trying to clear the air. All right, show me what your sibling thinks of you. The Four of Swords is a complicated card when we look at siblings because it feels like there's a little bit of closing the door or tuning out or silent treatment. Okay, why are they like that? They kind of just want to move on. I do think there's not going to be a fight with this person. This is fight averse. They just want it over already. Okay, so let's look at your conversation with them. How can you deal with the youngest sibling? So the business stuff is really, okay, show me the business. They're like, dude, they are so over this. This is death. This is being over it. This is rebirth. Like, they just want this done. The soonest you can get out of the business portion with the family, the better. Can you still have a relationship with this sibling that's meaningful? Yes. Cut out the business stuff. You just need to lay it on the line. Here's what we want. Here's what I need. I want this to be painless. Make it fair. Make it fair. Make it clean. I think they're just going to want to sign. You might have a challenge getting a hold of them, though. This is ghosting. This is ignoring. This is moving, like they're somewhere else. So the hardest thing will be you getting like them in the same room to sign on the dotted line if you're dissolving something. But I feel like they're so over it, there shouldn't be that much of an argument, okay? And then, what was your other question? Let me see. So this is super clear. When you're talking about boundaries, the Ace of Swords is like black and white, right? All right, so... by the way, I see some people asking questions. I'll get to it. Remember, I'm doing oldest, then newest. If I don't get to it when it's the newest, you can speak up. Somebody posted like 4 times, you didn't see it. I'm like, I see it now. So just give me a second. I'm going through it in the order they were asked. I will get to you. Okay. Maintain boundaries. So, I mean, we're getting great answers for this. This is a good deck. I'm glad I picked it. Okay, so the two of Cups is, again, from a place of love. I value our relationship more than I care about this, but we need to wrap this up so that we can work on repairing this. I want to make sure that you feel good about what you're getting. Like, make sure that there's a clarity and then after that, just focus more on the two of you, on having fun, and really don't bring in the work component ever again. So I think it's wise to close out that chapter. You may need someone else to intercede to get them, to hunt them down, a parent or a friend or a family member. But I think it'll be all right. I do see reconciliation. Never do business with them again. All right. And I think in general, business and family doesn't mix well. I mean, sometimes you'll see an and sons or something like, or brothers that go into business, but it doesn't always work out. Okay. Moving onward, let's go to Paula B, 888. What step can I take towards fully living my soul's purpose in this lifetime? Okay. Where are you at, Paula? You're ready for a change. How big is this change? You're trying on different possibilities right now. I think the best thing that you could do is kind of like when someone's ready to go to college, think like, what about this? What about that? Allow yourself to go down these different paths. Explore, daydream a little bit. What is your soul's path? Like, okay, so this is interesting. I would pull this card maybe for an artist or a comedian or an actor because their purpose is to bring joy and to have fun and to be playful. This is definitely like a comedian, but like laughter, joy, creativity, there's some of that. And to create a little bit more love and light on the planet, which we totally need right now. What can you do to take a step towards it? So the Moon card does represent fears and anxieties, but it's also power. Face your fear and just go for it. I really feel like you've got what it takes. Let's see. Do you need any school, any training, anything else? No. I mean, the wheel is also just giving things time to happen. Think of like not just a wheel of fortune, but a wheel of time. It takes time for these things to go. So if you were to enter into something new, I'm sorry, this is the well, but I read it as the wheel for a second. So like with a wheel, you have to kind of spin things into motion. The well is about making a wish and wish fulfillment. And that actually is what this is. So I feel like if there's something you really wish you could do, you can do it. It's just a matter of reflecting on that and embracing that. I like the Art Deco, but yeah, it's a little fanciful sometimes. You have to read. I'm like, that's the well, not the wheel. All right. We'll pivot for a second and I'll use a different deck. All right. And I think like the step is to have more fun. And you can enter into something without worrying about perfection for sure. Okay? Ashwin, let's see what's going on with you. Would you please tell me what to expect in relationships? Will I be settling in marriage? By the way, if you did just join and you are a member, before I move on to the next category, you can post it on that thread, and I will look at it. I will still look at what you've put in chat, but it helps me if it's all on the same page. And then I'll do Patreon, and then we'll open it up again to PayPal and to super stickers for a little bit before I get to bed. Okay. I have to do the daily at some point, too. All right, so what was I reading? Ashwin. Would you tell me what I need to expect in a relationship? Okay, first thing, what's coming through with a relationship? Why settle for marriage? I mean, I don't need to pull a card for that. Why would you want to settle? But anyway, relationships, what do you need to know? Queen of Cups in reverse. You deserve to be happy. And your happiness shouldn't be at the expense of other, like, let's put it this way. Other people's happiness shouldn't be at the expense of yours. That's what I meant to say. So I think in this moment in time, it's really important to not underestimate yourself, to not sort of like worry so much about pleasing people or doing something in a certain amount of time. You deserve to be happy. That's like the first message that came through. Do you need to settle? I mean, as a human, I would say no, but let's see what your guides have to say. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for security. It's not, these cards are reversed. It's not going to be as stable as you think. It isn't worth the money. The unhappiness isn't worth the money in the long run, I don't think. What do you need to know? Okay. Seven of Swords. Honesty is everything. Integrity is everything. That's why you don't want to do this. It lacks integrity, like settling. It's not like overtly Seven of Swords, but it is like if you're not fully connected, unless the other person wants the same thing. If you just want security, you both want more money because of taxes or something, like fine. But then it becomes transactional. So this is saying just be honest with what you're expecting, and that will attract someone who is also honest. The cards are very clear on these things, so I'm just doing my best to channel it. Okay, so what's your next step in love? Five of Wands. Okay, so a relationship should be, it takes work to have a relationship, but it shouldn't feel like a job. And I think that as you enter into like the ideal partnership, it should just fit like a glove. It's easy. And if it's too much work, it's not it. How long before someone comes into the picture? 1 year? Within a year, honestly. Within the next 6 months, you might be in a better place than you are right now, so give it time. But I'm seeing like within the next half year, half of a year, you should see someone. We're working on these other things, though. Not putting others' happiness above your own, not making the marriage or the relationship transactional, leading with honesty, and realizing that you should never have to force someone to like call you back or meet up with you, or it should be easy, back and forth, okay? And then we see a successful outcome there. So you're good. Don't settle. I felt that, but the cards also showed it. That's too transactional when you do that, okay? Hope that helps. Okay, unification, that's it. Unification inside. Maybe I need to get my other glasses again. They're just heavy for tonight because my sinuses hurt. All right, yeah, these are better. Okay, unification inside. Is it time for me to focus more on my career or personal life? All right, one for each. Career, personal life. The career is pretty good right now. So we have Nine of Pentacles, which is very close to where you need or want to be. In your career, what you could do a little bit more of is leaning on the support of others, for sure. I think you're very close to accomplishing a goal. Like even by the end of this year, something great could happen. So don't give up. Let's see. Is it fair to assume that after this year has wrapped up, that this person can focus a little bit more on relationships? Yeah, I feel like it is. You've accomplished what you needed. So looking in the new year with relationships, it's hard to step away. It's hard to step away, and I think one of the challenges for you is being able to articulate, this is what I want, this is what I need. I would work a little bit on envisioning what that looks like for you. This is not an either or, by the way. Let's look at a blended approach, kind of like I was for that other person. Can you find a happy medium between these two? Let's put it in the middle. That's what you should focus on. Finish what you've started. You're very close to something, but don't worry so much because you've actually done a lot of work in the area of work, right? And then we have here with relationships, don't be afraid. This is where I think part of it here is, are you ready to give up the control? There's a part of you that's very comfortable being where you are right now. So it should feel, again, easy, natural, and the person shouldn't need you to take care of them. That's what I'm picking up on, okay? So I think a blended approach here. Finish this, start to ease into this, and don't approach it like a job. It should be also something that is kind of fun and playful. Let's pull an oracle card. For the people that keep asking, you can post the member question there. Just go to the main tab and there'll be a bunch of responses. It was, I said, something like, today I'm going to do a reading, and you'll see like 70 responses or something, or 50. I just pasted it in chat. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm pulling an oracle card for you. That's what I'm doing. So grounding is missing here right now. So I feel like just getting more grounded in your life is the key thing, because before someone can come in, so finish this. Focus a little bit longer on work until the end of this year. Finish all of your goals and then create some space in your life for something new to enter. And then don't give it a timeline or a deadline. Just say, I'm going to start to put myself out there. I'm going to see what's happening. I'm not going to fixate on it too much. But good work on the work stuff. Honestly, you're nearly there. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you're really doing a great job, okay? I can already answer the next question, but I'll look at what your ancestors have to say, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. All right, clearing my energy out of it. What did you do? SCORP, Scorp Natalie? Oh, Scorpio Natalie, got it, 6138. Some of these are not easy to pronounce, and you have to figure out what the compound word is. So Scorpio Natalie, 6138. Is it fair to ask your ancestors to watch over you? Of course it is. That was what I thought too. What do they have to say about you right now? Like, if you don't have to, like, I guess you're wondering, can they see you? Can they hear you? They can, and there's not like a right or wrong time or a right or wrong way to speak to them, obviously just with respect. But what you can do to tune into the ancestral energy and to your intuitive energy is to make an appointment with spirit. Make sure that you're consistently showing up a few times a week, whether you're journaling or sitting out in nature or sitting in the privacy of your bedroom and meditating traditionally, just somewhere where you tune in so that they can show up. That's how that can happen a little bit more. Do they, again, how and when do they watch over you? Particularly when it comes to finances and work. And this is also about marriage. So whether you're trying to get married or in your own marriage, you're wanting some support, they're supporting you there as well. But definitely just for general security, they want you to be taken care of. So listen and ask. That is a great way for them to resolve their karma, by the way. So especially if someone wasn't there in a certain way, you could just ask for some support, okay? All right, so there you go. It's always okay to, as long as you like your ancestors. And also put some boundaries and expectations. So what you can do when you're working with guides or ancestors or ascended masters, just say, I'm so grateful that I have an audience with you right now, and I need help specifically in this area. Make it without a shadow of doubt clear, like what the next step should be. Thank you and please and thank you, like that person did. That goes so long, such a long way, especially with angels and with guides. So thank you and please show me. And please do this in my highest good. Show me the path in my highest good. Be clear, be grateful, and then let it go. And then listen and watch for the signs and signals. All right. Sacred Healer, who said they always miss this. I'm sorry. I did show up a little bit earlier, but I can't always get everything done. So we'll try to do an earlier one. I was tired. I'm not feeling well today. That's part of it. So it took me until the middle of the day to feel better. I got some more medicine. All right. I'd love to know when my Virgo twin flame is knocking at my door. Okay. So I'm assuming you already know this person, right? So what's going on with the Virgo flame? What do they think of you? So the interesting thing with twin flames, soulmates, or twin stars, whatever you want to call it, karma is just baggage. Sometimes the baggage is pleasant. It's like you go shopping and you love what's in the bag. Sometimes the baggage is garbage. Sometimes the baggage is heavy. That's all karmic relationships are. And focusing so much on a karmic relationship sometimes isn't beneficial. I know I said this maybe in the first of the 3 that I've done, well, now 4, but somewhere along the hundreds of lifetimes that we live, we had to meet someone the first time. So what I see with your twin flame right now is that they're in a different place. They're focusing on something else. What was isn't right now. It may merge into a friendship or something more in the future, but Guides and Spirit is saying, focus on creating new relationships and new people. Because you never know who your future soulmate is going to be for the next lifetime. Why not meet them this lifetime, and the next lifetime they're the soulmate? Why do we have to have people with baggage? So your soulmate is unhappy at the moment, probably dealing with some issues, just processing emotions. They're moving in a different direction, the Death card here. And there's room for friendship and possibly love, but not right now. So make some room. Also, a Scorpio could be coming in the mix for them too. There's something else. They're dealing with their own transformative moment. Let's look at you real quick. So that's your partner. How about yourself? What are you going through right now? Major changes and movements on your end as well. So Magician, Nine of Cups, I'm just going to pull them up right so we can see them. So this has been a journey of self-empowerment and discovery, particularly when you're looking into probably learning more about astrology and learning more about tarot. I can see there's an esoteric side to you. Nine of Cups, sometimes there's a concentrated high and low. So when it did come through reverse when I pulled it, so it feels like the intensity of this being absent, so that partner not being in the picture right now is affecting you, maybe even more than it's affecting them. So take a step back and don't give them too much power. Don't give them too much energy or too much thoughts here. Instead, focus on you, what you want, what you believe, what you need, how you feel about yourself. I feel like there's an exciting new opportunity right around the corner. So a Tower card on its own can be just like a little overwhelming, but when partnered with an ace, it's an opportunity that could be a breakthrough. And this isn't a love card. The Ace of Swords is not so much a love card as it is a breakthrough in your life in some other area, whether it's an idea, a job, or just something else that you're starting to understand. I feel like things are moving in the right direction here, okay? So the focus, even though you wanted me to look at the partner, was pretty clear. Like they don't want the connection right now. Let me just see if there's a reason that they don't. Sometimes they're afraid of the intensity of it. And this is something that happens with twin flames or karmic partnerships. It's too intense. So they're retreating a little bit. You've got to let them be for now. That would be my advice. Give them space. If they're meant to come back, they will, and it will be easy that time around. But if you chase them, then it kind of like, it makes it more difficult for the relationship to have the breathing that it needs, okay? All right. There was no when on that one. I'll pull a couple cards, but I don't think the when is so important. It's just saying now isn't the time. But let's see, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Yeah, I'm not necessarily seeing an immediate shift in this. I think it gets easier for both of you around the 6-month mark. Are they going to get in touch with you again? It's more likely that you'll run into them somewhere. So, especially with the Fool. So there might be a happy meeting coming through, like I think that was at the 9-month mark from now. So take a step back, focus on yourself. Trust that the bond is strong and that they will find their way back if they're meant to. Otherwise, make time to create some new connections in your life. That will help you clarify how you feel about that person too. Okay, E213. I'm trying to make progress on a few things simultaneously, and I wanted to know if it's sustainable. Okay, how's your multitasking? It's good, but you could ask for more support if you want to. 10 of Cups in reverse reminds you that there's more people available to you than you may be giving them credit for, giving yourself credit for. Should I take on fewer things at a time? I mean, I think it's more about how you delegate it. So we actually see in this one is a very different version of the 10 of Wands where they're not carrying it on their back, but the oxen is helping them out a little bit. So, or the ox rather. I think it's important for you to delegate a little bit better. And I agree that you probably shouldn't add anything else to the mix. and have some more fun in the work if possible. Like whatever it is that motivates you, get back into that motivational energy. And if there's anything that you've been wanting to launch, now is the time to do it. But definitely don't add. If you were to subtract, you probably could get more done. So yeah, I would say delegate, trim a little bit, but I wouldn't add anything else. Okay? I hope that helps. Chris C233, Scorpio with Saturn in my fourth lifetime of parental abuse. I'm sorry to hear that. After a wildfire 3 years ago have devastated into depression. Okay. Will I survive okay in my final years, especially financially? Okay. So there's a lot to unpack on this one. I want to look at the healing because you said there's a lot of parental abuse. So what's going on with the inner child? It does look like you're making good progress in moving forward here. There's no need to like look back and regret. This person has seen each step of this road as kind of like constituting the person that they are today. If you can look at just how strong you are in that, that would be helpful. Financially, you specifically asked, show me the finances. Past, present, future. I do think within a couple of years, it might take a couple of years for things to turn around, but it will. And I can see the loss here because the Wheel of Fortune was reversed. Show me in particular year one, and let's break it down. 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, and then year 2, 3, 6. Yeah, it's 2 years. Almost at not even though, like I would say by the months 9 through 12 from now. So you can do the math on that one. It feels like you're starting to recuperate here a little bit. Sorry, I'll zoom out. So what I saw, let's push all of these up. This upcoming year is the most challenging. It's kind of like stagnating right now. I can see that. Hard work will help. I see a breakthrough here. Then things look better. So you start to turn the tide around 3 to 6 months, but it's not until 9 to 12 months that you catch your breath. And then the second year looks a lot better. There may be an opportunity to live with someone. It could be a partner. It could be a friend. It could be a sibling. It could be a roommate. That could also help a little bit. But I get a lot of love energy here too. So maybe there's a friend that you can stay with that can help with the finances too, if you're open to that. So it's a little bit of work. I'm always honest when I see that, but it is possible. And the next year is probably the most tumultuous, but then it gets easier after that. And it's not like a constant state of tumult. It's just like one quarter of the year where things pick up, then there's a little bit of reassessment, readjustment, then it picks up. So ebbs and flows over the next year. And then it felt pretty much like a plateau after that. Hearts for healing. Hold on a second. One of my little cards wants to come off. I'll have to put that back on. Okay. I retired a week ago. My first mission is to be a stay-at-home mom. All right, is it mom? Is to be a stay-at-home for my 13-year-old. Okay, yeah. I am excited to be available to her and also curious if this will make a lasting impact on her for now. Okay, so helping her to see through others. Okay, wait, was there more on this one? Through others' stories, manipulations, and lies. Okay. Interesting. What does your 13-year-old, you didn't ask this, but I want to see it. What does your 13-year-old think of being homeschooled? She's okay with it. Okay. What does she think of you? She respects you. Maybe it's kind of interesting that you came through as a knight. So there may be opportunities to have more delineation, better boundaries, because sometimes she might treat you more like a peer than a parent. How do you see her? Yeah, quite nicely. I feel like your intentions are good. Will this be a positive interaction? Sometimes it's going to be difficult because you're juggling the role of. Did you say it was like stay at home teach? You're not teaching them at home. That's it. Okay. I thought it was homeschooling. You're just going to stay at home for them. That's it. All right. So let me reinterpret that. It's fine. Boundaries are key. You can do a lot to help her. She might speak up sometimes. 13 years old is when this mouthiness can happen sometimes. So that's the main thing that I see here. Okay, sorry, I misinterpreted that. There was just a lot of words there. So you're just staying at home to be a stay-at-home mom. I got it. So it's fine. These are not contentious at all. The biggest challenge is communication and boundaries, and her seeing you as the authority figure sometimes, because there is more of a kinship. I wouldn't be surprised if in a past life you guys were like siblings instead of mother-daughter, because that's kind of how that was reading. What do you need to know in order to be home with her more? It's worth it. This was really what you asked. Will it help her out in the long run? Yes, it will. Any challenges beyond what I said? Motivation. Motivating her to do certain things, whether it's cleaning up the laundry, doing her homework, anything in general. The motivation can always be tricky with kids. But there's a lot of love between the two of you. So you're fine. You're fine. Hopefully that helps. Is there anything you need to do for yourself before I move on? That's always that last card. So for yourself, make sure that you're taking ample time to not lose yourself in the role of parenting, which can happen sometimes. So you're a parent and a person. Kids forget that. We know that as grown adults. Don't lose you. Find things that inspire your mind. Get out there and do things in the community and the world that you enjoy, and take a break every now and then. Just because you stay at home most of the time doesn't mean that you can't get a night or a day or a weekend off. That's going to be important so that you don't get burnt out. Okay? All right, Elaine Art. I think I'm just looking at how many. We're almost at the beginning, so that's good. And I need a little bit of a lozenge now because my throat is sore. I have a history of my art and writing being stolen. Should I just publish my own books, the traditional route, instead of sending pieces of larger works to different literary magazines? Experiencing a difficult, long lull from acceptances despite professor highly recommending me to publish a certain piece. I feel my voice is too different for certain publications. Okay. Should you self-publish or traditionally publish? Self-publishing came out stronger, but having done that, there definitely are caveats with that. You have a much better chance of keeping your intellectual property. So if you ever want a license, or if you just don't want to deal with the whole contractual thing, that is a part of signing with an agent, then with a publisher. And then if there's any other deals that come from that, that's when the simplicity of self-publishing is great. It doesn't economically add up that much because you lack the normal distribution. The work doesn't get reviewed, so you have to do a lot more personal marketing to get it out there. But there are a lot of people that were non-traditionally published, like self-published, and then they got picked up. That series Wool on TV, Hugh Howley or something, I think he did it as self-published first and then got picked up. There's a bunch of people where it can start off that way. So just know, let me look at it from the financial and resource component. That's it. The devil's in the details. So don't underestimate how much it might cost in time, energy, money. And you still want to work with a lawyer or a person that's experienced. So when I did it, there was a lot of steps. Like you have to make sure that you have a disclaimer if necessary. You register it with the Library of Congress. You get your ISBN. There's like so many steps that it almost is overwhelming at the beginning. So just make sure that you've got all of that and you're ready to do all of that. I mean, if you just publish it on Amazon and don't care about larger distribution, it's not as big of a deal. But that's my cautionary note on that. It's not as easy as it seems. Let me just see if there's a reason that things are getting stolen. Definitely don't rush. Vet out the publication. One thing that I learned when I was doing it's been a long time now, it's been about 11 years, but when I was querying agents, there's sometimes this concern like, oh my God, are they going to steal this? They don't have the time typically to steal things. And a chapter usually is not going to be, I never had that problem, but what I get with this is just don't rush into something. Only choose publications that are well vetted and respected if you're going to go that route. if you're getting published first in these journals. And when it comes to general querying, is this the right action for you? It takes a long time. It could be good, yes. We had the queen before, now we have the king, but it's a period of rejection and a lot of work until you get that needle in the haystack. So the takeaway here is you can self-publish, but be prepared for all the little work, the details, the fine print that you need to do. And then you can still query and maybe just not be so attached to finding someone. Because when you stop caring, usually that's when the email comes through. See if there's anything else that you need to know, and then we'll move on. You're going to turn it around. We have the Wheel of Fortune here. So I do think you can get profitable in this area, but the literary magazine piece, I don't think is the route. Like, I think it would be better to focus self-publishing and representation. Stop it with the lit mags, unless you're getting something from that. The Eight of Swords is just showing me that it may not be giving you as much as you need now, still, if it once did, okay? All right, All Is Well in CA is the next one that I'm reading for. Love to know what the rest of 2025 has in store for me and my animal totem if you have time. All right, so let me focus first on, we'll just pull 3 cards for the next 3 months. All right, so this month, there could be some unexpectedly good partnerships that come through. We have the Four of Wands. It's reversed, so there could be someone that enters into your life that needs or wants you to connect with them for work, for fun, for any sort of purpose. And it's about seeing that there might be potential for long-term growth in that. So you should be focusing on networking right now, growing the existing relationships in your life, trimming out anything that doesn't work because you also want to hold some space for this higher partnership. But overall, Four of Wands is like the Lovers or the World card. It's really magnetic, it's very positive, and it's a good time to work with other people, talk to other people, get things moving in the right direction. I like this quite a bit for you. As we look at November, there could be a new opportunity landing on your plate. You may also be able to get someone interested in what you have to offer. If you're looking for love, it's a great month for love. Busy. I feel like, like the month just sort of like sweeps by. And then at the end of the year, it's just really important to slow down and be present. This is your busy go, go, go month, November. December, let things kind of like simmer a bit. Don't rush. Plan out what you want to do in the new year. But overall, it's pretty good. There might be some delays in December, but they're purposeful delays. The Hanged Man is there to help us see something different or see something from a different angle, okay? Animal. I actually have a deck, so hold on. You want a message from a totem, animal totem. Without even looking, the word possum came to mind, or opossum. Basically, I'm getting like nocturnal energy, because that's what I was seeing was a little possum. And it's, to me, that represents kind of looking into something that hasn't been fully fleshed out or developed yet. And some of the insights coming through in dreams or like right before you go to sleep or right when you wake up. That's the mediumship portion that I saw was an opossum. But let's see, in addition to that, if there's another totem that wants to come through. Buffalo. Sacred, powerful, and ready to move forward on something. So the opossum and then the buffalo, those are the two. You first have to go into the night, into the unknown, into the sort of like creative mode before you step into this. But I love the buffalo for you. That just shows me strength, movement, power, very much emperor energy when I look at the buffalo, with a little dash of the magician maybe because it's a powerful symbol. So don't be afraid to go into that exploring phase first. It can be scary sometimes to look places that we haven't, but it's really important too. Okay. Elizabeth Peterson. Okay. There's still time to ask a question. This is your first one for today. How do you move forward? You are desperate and lost and terrified and stuck. Okay. Got it. You want to get out of this situation that you're in right now. What can you do? You know, these are actually pretty decent cards here, but the Four of Swords can show, it's almost like a deer in headlights because it's a frozen card. Sometimes nothing's happening. Usually the person's in a bed with the fourth sword beneath them, three above, and it's sleepy, but it can also be frozen. And I'm definitely getting that with the icy color that this artist chose. I think things might be better than you think here as I look at the future. So what about the present is so hard? It's always darkest before dawn, like the Florence and the Machine song. This moment seems really murky, but there is a breakthrough right on the horizon. And it takes some time for that to open up. A move or some travel could assist with some of this. So I'm going to pull one for each of these energies that you mentioned, because I'm not necessarily seeing it in the three cards that I pulled. So how do you move forward? And you capitalized it. The Seven of Wands is about sometimes you have to push. Sometimes you have to fight. Sometimes you have to advocate. It's a pushy card. So if there's something that you want or need, push a little bit more, speak up a little bit more. But also, we see that you can do it with the help of a group here or a team. It's actually a lot more powerful when there's more than one person trying to do it. Desperation. You could work with a mentor on that, a counselor. But you're more powerful than you might imagine, and that's what this is showing. Lost. I think some of it has to do with what you were told you could or should be, and you haven't given yourself a chance to see what you might be able to do or what you want to do. This is like wounds from the past. Parents, friends, teachers, peers, not giving you the benefit of the doubt. It's very Five of Pentacles, even though it's Five of Swords. But someone's shifting the blame. That's really the Five of Swords in this. And they're pointing at you. And then that inner saboteur takes that script and uses it for you. And it really isn't you anymore. So I think it's time to flip the script on this and start to see yourself as the protagonist and the winner in your story, because I feel like you're going to be okay. Is there anything here that is causing these feelings? I think a lot of it really is just you've been through a lot and you need to celebrate that on one level. Take a deep breath. And I think finding this group that can help you a little bit. So whether that's peers or a support group or something like that, that will help out. But the cards were actually decent. So I feel like any step that you take for personal healing, for creating and fostering better relationships, stress management, these things are going to help you quite a bit, okay? Don't give up. That's what I see, especially with like the Nine of Wands. You've got this. And the Seven of Wands. Stand up for yourself, get the support that you need, and don't give up, okay? Because it was kind of general, it was hard to see past that. Okay, I see new ones that I didn't see here before. Hold on. All right, so this one I got in triplicate, which was I want to ask if my family will be okay, in particular my teenage son. So I got that 3 times, but I'll heart it 3 times so you know that I got it. How is your teenage son right now? Let's see. I do think he'll be okay. Right now, I don't think he knows who he is. The Eight of Swords is worrying too much about what other people might be wanting, needing, expecting, not fully sort of knowing his own value, worth, or path. That's pretty normal for a teenager. Also, he doesn't always want to listen here, the Chariot in reverse. Challenging authority, challenging common sense. Some of this is just to rebel and just to maybe find a way to figure it out. I think he's just figuring it out. But I do like the Knight of Wands here. He needs to march to the beat of his own drum. He needs to be his own person. And so if you can help him have the tools for success without telling him what to do, that's the key. He needs to also think that it's going to be his idea when he steps in a certain path. Will he be okay? Yeah, he just lacks direction right now. And he's dreaming a bit and he's asking questions. Seven of Cups. I don't think he knows where he wants to go. So both of these are cards that show a lack of clarity. This one, they can't see it. This one, there's too much and there's no clear line. Like if we look at a job, an internship would help here. If it's a relationship, you got to know who you are before you know how you are in a relationship, or if the person that you're spending time with is supposed to be the person that you're with. So just some more work personally is what I see. I didn't get anything problematic though, so he'll be okay. Do you need to do anything? Just show up and hold space here. He does need to hear occasionally, not in a way that's pressure, but just that you see good things for him in the future, that you believe in him. That's a better way. I believe in you and I will support you and I believe you can find success on any path. That's better than pressuring someone too much. He does want to do a little bit on his own. You've got to let him do it on his own, including sometimes fall a little bit. Okay, hope that helps. All right, Sylvia has a question. You just want to know general advice. Okay, so let's see what guides have to say. If there's follow-up questions, just hold for a second. I'm going to get through everybody first, and then I'll address whatever's in chat. I'm doing one at a time, and I have to kind of like move at a decent pace so that my voice is here. So thank you for understanding. All right, so this one's from Jamie McCormick. Hi, Nicholas. You're being incredibly generous with your time and energy. What message do I need to hear at this present moment through to the end of the year, please? Okay. One for each month. October, November, December. In October, I see great things here. The Empress card is showing the ability to step into a situation and take charge. It's a birthing card, creating card. This is a time where anything that you have as a goal can really come to fruition, which I quite like for you. Next month, in November, there's a lot on your plate, and it can come through as mental stress, but also physical stress. So remember, as I've said here, that you can take a step back a little bit, and you don't have to work yourself to such a great degree. This is the month to really put it in all octaves going, but like you have to take a step back a little bit next month. Travel would be good if you can take a break. And then December, finances are a little challenging, but the card is reversed, so I feel like you can make good decisions when it comes to that. Don't overextend. Don't overspend either. The other thing here, and as long as you kind of temper this, I think this will go to Six of Pentacles, but you don't want to work yourself to exhaustion or to getting sick. The inner child healing comes out towards the end of the year, and maybe it's exacerbated a bit by end of year celebrations and holidays. And so what we see here is the need to just sort of like separate oneself from the family, the past, etc., and see yourself as the fully developed human that you are right now. But fighting for support and energy is important, and I do feel like the focus here would be on friends, family, and loved ones. Okay? Overall, pretty good way to close out the year. That Five of Pentacles is just saying take care of yourself. Don't work yourself into exhaustion, okay? Sinister days. Okay. Hi, Nicholas. I'm just wanting to know if I'll be able to find a job. First question. Yes. And make a career change in the next few months. Yes. Okay, so let's look at it month by month and see when. Let's zoom out so you can see everything. Sorry. October, November, December. November looks pretty awesome. So right now is the time to get things out there. We have the Page of Swords, which is about emailing, calling, phoning, putting things where they need to be. Then I have a bonus card in this deck, the Artist. And if you are, in fact, looking for something creative, this is even more auspicious. But then we also have Queen of Pentacles, which represents a job. So next month looks really, really solid. And then we see like celebration energy in December. So I would say give it at least through the end of this month. And then if we were to just look at when this enters in next month, week 1, week 2, week 3, third week. Third and fourth week, you might even have 2 options. There will be a rejection, one at least with the 5 of Cups. And then there's someone who just passes and goes in a different direction too. So there's a couple of things like the first 2 weeks it's not coming through, but by the third or fourth, it looks like you're in a good space. So yeah, the end of next month is what I see. All right, Sharon DeVere. Looking into the future, should I nest where I am or explore the opportunity in another state? Okay. Stay. It looks like stay, but stay or go to another state. And show me how you actually would feel. Let's see. Looking for the future. Should I nest where I am or explore the opportunity in the other state? Thank you for all you do. Also, your mom has passed. Okay, so we'll look at your mom in a second, but staying put. I just want to get a better vibe versus moving. You're not ready to move just yet. With the move, lack of clarity on where, why, or how. The money's there, and you can do it, but you're not mentally clear enough. Staying is better for now because you're plugged into everything there, and creatively, there's a lot that kind of like it feels like the heart is there, but what isn't? It could just feel like for you. Some things have just, you've tried everything. So I feel like there is a little bit of stagnation on some levels, but overall we have stronger cards. So if you could just change up the routine a little bit and see if you can create some change where you're at first, I would try that. So not yet on this. Let's see. 3, 6, 9. 9 months from now is the time to move if you want to. So take the time between now and then to focus on giving home another try and resolving anything that you need to. You'll feel a lot more ready next year. Oh, and you wanted a message from your mom. Okay, hold on. Sorry for your loss, by the way. Okay, so here's what mom has to say. She wants the best for you. The 3 of Wands is, well, and also she can see it so much clearer than you. Like, do you see all that's lining up for you? There's a sense of excitement, and then these were reversed. So also, why can't I be there for that? She is there though. So there's also the encouragement of just knowing that when you think to yourself, I wish my mom could see this, she can see it, and it frustrates her that she can't be there to tell you that. So that's one thing that I get. 5 of Swords, don't be so hard on yourself and stop putting yourself down. And she wants you to be happy. The 6 of Cups can be love or children or grandchildren. So she just wants for that personal part of your life to be blossoming too. This is very motherly. It makes sense. If you could only see your potential, don't be so hard on yourself, so down on yourself. Are you having fun? Those are your messages from mom. She's nice. And she wishes she could be there. They all came through reverse. She's like, why can't I have fun? I want to be a part of this. So your mom is nice. I got a very good vibe when I looked at all that. I'm sorry that you lost her. And you said she's been gone for 10 years. So that's why with the 3 of Wands, she's still with you. My mom is gone, let's see, 3 or 4 years this upcoming year. Each year, the amount of messages go down, but she still comes through. She's still there. Okay, so is yours. Next question. Quiet, gentle vibes. is totally confused about what direction to go next in life in all areas. Do you have any guidance? Okay. Let's just see where you're at right now. Something's come to a close. Okay, lots of hidden stuff coming through. All right, so when I looked at the deep past for you, we have the World card hidden beneath the King of Wands. So I feel like you're overthinking what the next step should be. You already know where you want to go or what you want to do on some levels, but this gets in the way. Feeling like, I don't know, I need to think this through. In this moment in time, it's hard to think straight because there's still a lot of pain or just general healing to do. Maybe even a little bit of disappointment. But what I see here in the future for you is good stuff here. We have Strength and Nine of Cups. So with the Strength card, you can do or be or go anywhere that you want to go. And then this is a card of wish fulfillment. So we only get this question asked when you're younger. What I would posit to you at this moment in time is like, what is it that you want to do? What kind of impact do you want to make? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Because when you know, it makes it a lot easier for the universe to show up. So let me just pull a single card. What should you focus on? You gave me a wide net. So I'm going to say, in all the aspects of her life, let's make it easy. Show me pentacles for work. Show me hearts or cups for love. Show me wands for like personal development. And what did I miss? Swords, communication, and other aspects. All right, what does she need to focus on? Two of Pentacles. Okay, so you can't be everything to everyone. It's important in this moment to focus on balancing out all of it. So your money, your schedule, who you are to different people, like showing up in the same way would be so much easier than splitting yourself off, because that's what I'm kind of getting is like cellular division here. So when you stop having to be all of these places, all of these people, and you can just be one, it's a lot easier. Because that is the lesson with the Two of Pentacles, is to choose what feels right. But the balancing act is what I see right now. So do less, do it better. Do what's right. Don't worry so much about what others think. And advocate for more, because this is not enough, okay? But you will get there. Here, we'll pull an oracle card just because it feels loose. Guides want me to do one more. So how can you get unconfused? One step at a time. So planting seeds and intentions. This is like the Ace of Pentacles, if you will, or Ace of Wands. So start the day off with a clear goal, as we talked about earlier. Today, I choose to focus on this. Today, I will put energy in this area. I'm not going to try to solve all these other things. I'm going to put my energy right here, right now. Okay? JA33998. Lots of numbers in all of these. Okay, so, and this is your username, and that's how it shows up for me. I don't necessarily see the full name. I just see the handle. So, okay, Nicholas, advice on work and health. Work, health. So for work, we have the Page of Wands in reverse, and you did say you have complicated relationships with coworkers. The thing with the Page of Wands in reverse is it's someone who doesn't want to listen, and they don't want to be shown something new. So that, of course, can create challenges, especially if coworkers don't want to hear or see what should be done. But the health came through with more of a concern. So show me the health right now. All right, so the Eight of Swords is coming through where something may just, you might be afraid to talk about something, but you have to. It's better to deal with something earlier than later. In fact, that happened for me today. They were like, thank God you came in now, or this could have happened. And it was a scary appointment, but sometimes you have to go and ask, well, now what? And what do I do next? And if you don't ask and if you don't look, then things can happen. So take care of your health. The Ace of Swords is an inquisitive card, so ask questions if something isn't clear. This is about hearing and seeing, so if something literally doesn't look or sound right, just like I did, go to the proper doctor. And if something internally doesn't look right or feel right, don't ignore it. I don't know what's going on with like sweets or treating yourself or indulgences, because King of Pentacles in reverse sometimes overdoes it. So just make sure that whatever your vice is, that you're not overdoing that. In fact, you should step back from that. But there's nothing here that's overly problematic other than this. The devil likes the Eight of Swords because it underestimates an issue, and then that allows something to flare up. So be proactive. Get everything checked out that you normally would get checked out. And if there is a vice in your life, now is the time to release that vice. For the coworkers, let me see. What do they think about you? What's their motive? So they just want as much as you're willing to give. What do you think of them? You try too much, I think, with them. You're very kind. You're leading with love and light, literally. The lovers in the sun, love and light. They will take as much as you're willing to give. So it's important to have boundaries, not to play games, and not to give them too much energy. And let them figure some stuff out. You don't have to show them, like if they don't want to see, if they don't want to receive, pick and choose those battles wisely, because sometimes people just aren't ready, you know? And that's unfortunate for them, but it isn't your problem to fix completely. Okay. Hope that helps. All right, Andrea says, hello, will I ever meet again with Diego? Okay, let's take a look. I always want to see what your partner thinks if you're asking me to look at a partner. So, Diego, what do you think of, was it Andrea? Yeah. Right now, so with Diego, Eight of Swords, this person's hiding a bit. I don't feel like there's anything bad going on in their life. In fact, I feel like life is okay. They're hiding from you just a little bit. Seven of Cups. I don't think Diego knows what they want in the relationship with you. And I don't know if you've gotten to see the true person behind who this persona is. Like, they're figuring themselves out. So for now, they're not meant to be in the picture, but let me look at your larger question. Will you guys ever reconcile or reconnect? It would take a little bit of effort. The Six of Swords is usually something that has played its course in your life and is often better left in the past, as frustrating as that may look, feel, or seem, because karmically it's just kind of done. But it could just be something where you bump into each other. Is there anything, how will it be? You asked, how will it be if you meet again? So this is a teaching relationship. I mentioned karma has different things. So sometimes it's positive memories, sometimes it's negative memories, sometimes you decide to work on things together. This is someone who will teach you to work on certain things. Diego may try your patience a little bit because this is typically an impatient card. Diego may also test you when it comes to finances and how much you spread yourself thin in that area too. But I think overall they have a little bit more healing and work to do on themselves. So I think you should focus on other people if you're willing and ready. If not, just give them space. And I don't really get a when I'm looking at this, but I'll say over the course of the next year. If it's meant to be, it'll happen over the course of the next year. And if I had to pick a time when it's most likely, summer and fall, or like middle of the year, so second and third quarter of the year. But if it doesn't happen by then, I feel like it's time to move on. It's already here on some levels. I feel like this is more for you. Like you can release the relationship. I hope that helped. Okay, Je m'appelle, or Jamie Pelly. Okay, so what message do my spirit guides have for me? All right, so for Jamie, the devil keeps coming up in these readings. Okay, one thing that I see right now is a lack of vitality, some mental exhaustion, some fatigue. Take better care of yourself. Might also just be like busy and bored. It's an interesting combination, but that's what I'm getting. There might be a person in your life right now that just comes across really critical. This can also be yourself. like the voice to yourself. So if you're too critical or if someone around you is too critical, we need to quiet that voice so that you can focus on what matters. What do you need to do to overcome this? Yeah, move on. So also the devil can be clinging energy. We can cling to a person, a place, or a thing. They can cling to us too. It's important in this moment. The Queen of Swords can be a clear line in the sand. No, not now, not ever. And then that helps you move on to the Judgment card. Something needs to be cleared. Also, if someone's doing something that's not right, then you bring that to the light of day. This can be court, legal matters, etc. You're going to be fine. In the future, we see the Magician. It's a little bit unclear in the moment, but once you get a little rest, get a little clarity, it feels like you regain your power. And that's really what I see as reclamation of power by detoxing, I should say, your relationships, your living situation, your diet, all the things around you. Total detox to kind of get you in a clearer and brighter space. Okay? Amy, what do your guides want to tell you? Okay, so let's see for Amy Kretcher, 533. You're worrying too much, but things are actually, this has served you to some degree. Stress can be an encouragement to do things better and more, and it feels like that's a part of you that you don't have to push anymore. Like, trust in your ability, trust in yourself, work smarter, not harder, and make sure that your sleep quality and quantity are what they need to be. When it comes to new people, new opportunities, and engagements, they need to be deserving of you too, because the Five of Swords is often somebody who just isn't listening and tuning in. I want you to be in environments where you can truly grow without having to change yourself too much. Don't go changing. And really not to be the inner saboteur for yourself. So it feels like there's unnecessary stress and unnecessary inner critique going on. You are going to finish whatever you've set out to do. You've done a good job on that. So see it to completion, get some rest. Don't be so hard on yourself. And is there anything else you need to know? Maybe something positive here. Queen of Wands in reverse. You can think yourself through just about any challenging situation. It's not always the easiest maybe to step into the boss energy, but when you do, it's quite good. So if you're feeling ready, willing, or able, this upcoming month, it might be good to kind of like do some more leadership-oriented things, okay? Woohoo, we're almost at the end here. So Miriam Lisbeth. Selling your house in Germany to move to Tuscany has got lost. It's nowhere to be. Okay, wait. I guess my question about selling my house to Germany. Well, yeah, I'm getting to it now. So if it wasn't there before, it didn't show up. I don't know where it went. So I'm getting to it now. So that's all that matters. Will it be a good process? Can I manage? So to restate it, will selling your house and moving to Tuscany be a good process? That's the question. Four of Swords in reverse is interesting for a real estate question. I think you should talk to a realtor, obviously, but I think that the market is strange right now. Four of Swords is typically a quiet card, but when it's reversed, it can be very, very fast moving. So it's, what's the best word? Volatile, that's the word. It's volatile, and there are moments where it goes fast. It's about timing right now. So really time it right and time it according to the country in which you live and where you're. So this would depend on Germany and then the euro. Take a look at what's tracking with that, because that is going to affect it. I do think it could go lickety-split. So Four of Swords in reverse is not slow, it's too fast. So do you have your place lined up in Tuscany? Or would selling this leave you in a place where you're homeless and you have to find something soon? If you already have the Tuscany place, I think this will happen faster. But managing and profiting are different things. We got to be specific on the question, so I'm going to be your advocate here. Is this a profitable sale? Like, will you make your money right now? Yes. Looks pretty good. Yes. Fast. It will happen fast. Will you like Tuscany? Yes. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. There's a now energy to both of these cards, so it can happen very quick. Anything blocking you? Just, we would call it escrow in the States, but the final waiting period for legal documents, like there might be some delays on that, but it's red tape for the most part. It'll be fine. This is good. Go for it. But it will happen a little bit quicker. Make sure you have everything lined up so that you have a place to call home, because I feel like the sale could happen faster than the new place is available. Okay? Sorry I didn't see it the first time. Sometimes things get lost. In this, I tried to untag anything that got blocked, but sometimes, YouTube is not perfect. This is not an easy system that they've set up here. And remember, I'm doing this without a moderator, so I have to just kind of push through it. And then I will look at chat in a moment here, and then I need to go to the Patreon side. So we're going to stop for a second on taking members' questions, and then I need to kind of shift into something else. Okay, let me just do newest first one more time. I'm making sure that I'm not missing anything. I am Laura. What do I need to know at this moment? Thank you. Queen of Cups with the Magician beneath it. Don't force the connection. One of my famous phrases. This is particularly when it comes to love and opportunities. You either feel it or you don't. But I do feel like something great is on the horizon for you. Let's see, from an oracle card perspective, is there something that you need to know right now? Well, we have a lot of cards around love and attraction here. So this could be a great time to meet a new friend, a new connection, go deeper in an existing relationship, or put something that you love out into the world, because the Queen can birth and create, and so can the Magician. So I feel pretty good about you at the moment. Trust in your abilities. Have some fun. Good cards. Okay? Let's see. Sugar Shaker. Not sure if I did it right when I sent a sticker, but my question was it Bell's palsy? Okay, so I probably missed it, or it came after the live was done, so it's fine. Also, I think I got through all of them, but I'll double check that too. There might have been a few that slipped through. Okay. Was it Bell's palsy, and should I get a second opinion? I think you should always get a second opinion, but we'll look at the cards here. And again, oops, not that. I'm not a doctor, but I will look at this and see, here it is, not a doctor, but I will look at the energy and see the likeliness on this one, and then you work with your doctor on this. So is it Bell's palsy? We want a very affirmative card to show that you're good, and a negative card to show that it would be Bell's palsy. So the Chariot in reverse tells me that there's probably more at play, because the Chariot has 3 different mechanisms for movement, the 2 horses and then the vehicle itself. I don't think it's solely that. There could be a degree of that, though, with the Chariot in reverse, but it's oversimplification to say it's just that. So I think it's more nuanced, and I think you should get a second opinion. The second opinion will be better. This could represent a Leo or a woman in your life, or like a female doctor. So I would seek out advice from a female doctor, particularly. And let me see here. Is this going to work out okay for you in the long run? 4 of Pentacles is a challenging card, because sometimes we want to hold on to what was. So basically a way to interpret this that makes sense. There will be a new level of normalcy, but it will be okay. This is a foundational card. You will be all right, but it is letting go of expectations of like perfection or the past. As someone who has had some injuries, and even right now, I'm dealing with something with my hearing where some may or may not be lost. Like, you just can't, there comes a point where it's like, I have to do with what I have now. If something happened and it happened in my body and I couldn't control it, I could sit and be angry about it, or I could figure out what I can do next. And that's kind of like what you have to do. If you break your nose, if you break a bone, if something happens and you're not the same, you're still here, you're still standing. And that's kind of what I get with the 4 of Pentacles. But open your heart, heal your heart, and know that this is something to build on, not something to break down from. That's kind of what the guides are showing me, a new foundation and a new level of normalcy for you, okay? I get it. It's not fun and it's not fair, if you've had something go on in your body. But I do feel like the second opinion will give you a clearer path. I hope that helps. There's more at work, though. It wasn't like to get a yes or no, like justice would have been a no reversed. An ace would have been a yes upright. The devil would have shown me like, yeah, that's something serious. But like, I'm just seeing that there's moving pieces. So that might be one element, but there's a couple of other things. And that's why you want to get a second opinion. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see it the first time. I don't know where it is in here either. I do my best to heart each of these and see them, but sometimes things get lost. Okay. INFJ. Oh, it's the communication thing. INFJ Libra. I was like, what the heck is that? All right. So Libra, I would be grateful for some advice on my career. Company is doing a restructure. What do you see for me? Okay. Are you going to fare well in the restructure? I think so. I would get ahead of it, no. One thing that I've been through multiple restructurings, multiple layoffs, and just crazy things, because I used to work a long time ago in .com, then I worked in entertainment business, but there's always changes and mergers and layoffs and stuff like that. This is about having a conversation before the restructuring is even completely done, getting ahead of that. But this is generally good. What is it going to look like for you after the restructure? Actually, quite good. You could ask for something that doesn't quite exist and possibly get some sort of like a manifestation moment here. So, I mean, these are celebration and wish fulfillment cards. So I think you're gonna end up being okay. Do you like it there? That's the question. So I feel like you are wanting something more. You can stay as long as you want to, and you can make what you want of the situation. But the cards show me that you want something different. So explore that something different and take advantage of however long you want to be there. That's the takeaway on that one. You're going to be fine. Since we saw the Six of Swords, is there any just general advice? Go for the money. Ask, like, if there's a title, if there's some money, if there's something that you're looking for, you've got this. So I actually feel like you can make out well. Sometimes restructuring is good. We didn't get the Tower. We didn't get the Devil. We didn't get the Ten of Swords. We only got good cards on that. Sash 7551. All right. These all sound like I don't know. YouTube started to put numbers after usernames, so it's all weird. But anyway, I feel like I'm reading out cyber names or something. Sash 7551. I would be grateful to hear from my dear mom. She passed 25 years ago, and you're currently at your current age of 55. So there's this moment of realization that now you're her age, and okay, I got it. All right, Mama, what do you want to say? Sasha's mom, what do you need to say? What do you want to say? Past, present, future. So it takes time to heal. She would love for you to, she worries just about your finances. I think this is a very motherly thing to do. So she just wants to make sure that you're saving enough for yourself, for retirement, for the future. She doesn't want you to mourn her loss. This is a card of mourning, the Five of Cups. She's like, you've spent enough tears and enough time on that. There's two cups here. She wants you to have fun. She celebrates the relationships, the friendships, that joyful part. She wants to see more of that from you. And she's thinking about you. So whenever I read for someone and the Seven of Cups comes through, she wants to know how much you're thinking of her, but like she's thinking of you. Yes, there's never been a day where you haven't crossed her mind too. That makes me want to cry. But like, yeah, you're in her thoughts, you're in her energy. And let's see if she has any other advice or messages for you. Talk to her more. Literally, it says spirit talk or communication. And even in your thoughts, if you direct your thoughts towards her, it's kind of like it projects out there like a little movie. She can pick up on it. So think and talk to her more than you do. She can help you if you want. That's a fun card for mediumship. So your mom is still thinking about you, okay? Show me who she was. What was your mom like? Joyful woman. You know, she had moments where she did things where she's like, what was I thinking? I don't think she was always thinking about the future. And I think she thought there would be a lot more time than she had. But she had fun. So there was moments of fun. She wished she had more fun. And one message here for all of us is we're not guaranteed any certain amounts of tomorrows, not to get morbid, but it helps us not freak out on today so much because it's not going to help. Have as much fun as you can. All right, your mom seems fun. Let me quickly look. I'm about ready to shift gears, and I'm probably going to open up general chat for a little bit in a moment, but let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I'm going to scroll through the members. Looks like everybody got a heart. If I missed anyone, there'll always be another time. You know, you'll have to forgive me. I can't find everything as I'm going through these. So, and I do it without moderation. All right. Okay. There were a couple that came through here at the very end. So let me add these back in, I think. Oh no, I like those. Okay. Let's go to held real quick. I'm just making sure that nothing got held. Okay, Vicky got annoyed and said, my question has not been answered. Here it is. Okay, hold on, Vicky. Let's see. There's a few more. They get held. You guys have to understand that they get moderated and I have to go and unhold them. So don't get angry at me. Get angry at YouTube. And realize I've been doing this for several hours. There are a few more that are coming through. All right. So I'm going to pause. I'll answer those, but I'm going to quickly pivot to Patreon because Patreon's been very, very kind on waiting. So let me look at Patreon really quickly. Yeah, YouTube has its own moderation system. So sometimes you just have to ask it again. Don't get angry if I haven't answered it. Just say, I've put this a few times. Can you look at this? And then politeness goes a long way. I'm not purposely ignoring anybody's questions. I promise you. You know me. I will sit here and read until we got through everything. So if I missed it, it wasn't on purpose. And we do these often enough that you'll get a chance. And with members and Patreons, it's like an ongoing thing. So there'll be many chances to talk to me again. I really want to make sure for super stickers and super chat that I don't forget because they only get a one and done sort of thing. All right, so we're going to move backwards on this. There are only 7 Patreon questions, so let me answer them. Hello, Nicholas. Would like to know, when will I meet new friends? Okay. Like now would be a great time. The Two of Cups in reverse is just an invitation to be more, we have dolphins on this, like be more playful and be more outgoing. But let me see if there's anything blocking you from the friendships. Are you looking for friendship or are you looking for love? Because these read very much in the amorous sort of love energy. There may also be love that's awaiting you. So I feel like it's now. Like get out there and have some fun and don't be afraid to initiate. Also, like you can show with body language a smile or a wave, or you can open yourself up a little bit so that you can test the waters that way to see. But I get a now energy on that one. So the when is now. And let me just see if there's any messages from the Oracle cards on like what might be causing some blocks here. Like omnipresence means everywhere. And this is showing me that just about anywhere you go, there'd be a chance to connect. But you want to find someone, we have the spirit world here, someone that might have a similar like worldview to kind of help spark the conversation. But there should be nothing holding you back because it looks like the here and the now, okay? What I will do just to help you, work. 4 of Cups, not as much. Work or school, yeah, not as much, a little bit more foggy. How about existing friend or family? Yeah, friends and family is where I would kind of like say yes to some events, talk to them a little bit about how they meet people, but there might be a way to connect through that, and then just everyday life, that as well. So friends, family, or just going about your business, but it feels imminent, soon, very soon. Within the next month or 2, you should start to make some new friends. Good luck with that. Okay, Millie. Nicholas, can you share insights on, let's see, What? Got it. Hi, Nicholas. Can you share what insights to you might have around finding a partner? I've been mostly single and mostly happy. I appreciate the honesty for 14 years, but would like to be in a committed relationship, though not necessarily marriage. Okay. Is there anything you need to work on? Just keeping an open mind and not looking so much. I know that you're like single, but mostly happy. I think you have a healthy attitude. The Page of Wands still does fixate on it a bit more maybe than is necessary. So really opening up and having that conversation with yourself and spirit. I'm ready, I'm worthy, and I'm willing to get into a relationship. But I'm also very self-contained. I'm self-sustaining. I don't need, but I want. And I don't want to the point of exhaustion or, desperation. I'm just ready. Let's do this. You can say it that way. I think that let's do this now. Let's do this now and not just like this, like let's bring in the highest possible partnership now. If you're truly ready, because it feels like, and then let it go. Say it and release it. Okay, so let's look at this really quickly here. Finding a partner. Is your partner that is in that high energy ready for you? Yeah, we have an air sign. So there could be an air sign coming in. When would this partner come through into your life? October, November, December, January, February is looking a little bit better. So what I'm getting with this part of the year, there's some stuff that you're working on releasing. It feels like it's fully released. In December, there could also be a Scorpio coming through. The next couple of months, this month and next month, you're busy with work. You're busy getting stuff done. It just feels like there's not a lot of time and energy. There's a little bit of healing that happens in January and also wrapping things up. And then I feel like February is when things start to kick into gear with partnerships. So soon, but not now. And we have a sword energy coming through. So Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini energy. And is there anything else that you need to focus on to get into the frequency of love, Millie? Let it go. That's kind of why I was saying surrender. Easier said than done, right? It's easy to just say, I'm good with it, but it's still in there. Really releasing the thought and thinking, would it be the worst if I didn't meet someone right now or next or ever? I would be fine. It would be better maybe or more fun if I did, but I don't need it. I'd like it. Keep reminding yourself that you don't need it, but you're ready for it. You're willing, you're deserving, okay? And it looks like February is when things start to pick up just a little bit more. That doesn't mean you can't meet someone before then. It just is the natural progression in this moment as I'm taking a pulse, okay? You can change your future if you don't like that. Rachel, hey, Nicholas, thank you for doing this. What is the best way to tune in to hear where your soul is calling and leading you? It feels like I've been drifting and that every path that I've tried has served and taught, but it has not been where I've been meant to be. I can see that. The Eight of Cups in reverse is reminding you to go back to the dream that you had as a child. Like, when I grow up, I want to do this, or wouldn't it be cool if I tried this? Get back into that imaginative, why not, what if energy, and set it into motion. Writing, speaking, maybe even going to school. The Page of Swords is a card that absorbs knowledge as well. But using your voice more than you might have done before, that's definitely coming through right now. And the next step, as we've talked about, it shouldn't feel like it's so much work that it's so hard, right? Looking at a more esoteric deck here, and I can answer this also from just a practical point of view, but where is your soul leading you? I'm kind of curious on this one too. So let love reach where it has never reached before. I just read this for a sign recently. Something could surpass your expectations. That's one thing that I'm seeing here. And sometimes we think that it's not possible. It is possible. Reach for that star. You asked a very specific question, which I really don't need cards for. What is the best way to tune in to hear where your soul is calling and leading you? Dreams. Also, the quiet moments when you're not trying to focus on anything. Your soul can come through when you're taking a shower, when you're walking the dog, when you're driving, when your mind's engaged on something else. But the intrusive, they're not intrusive. When the thoughts come in, Sometimes when you're laying down at night and you're trying to go to bed, your soul is always speaking to you. But dreams are the most powerful for me. So I would encourage you to keep a dream journal and see what comes through. I'm like, there are some times where things are shockingly laid out, like a recipe of what's happening or what I need to focus on. And there's specificity down to the name of a location or a person or an ingredient. I'm like, why is it so specific? When you start to tune in, it can get very, very clear like that for you, okay? So tune into your dreams, journal, and when you're out in nature just walking, just open yourself up to hear the first thought that comes through. It's a great way to practice intuition. Rachel, okay, that was you. Let's heart that. Next one. Melissa, thank you for doing these. Will I be able to make my side hustle my only job within a year? Okay, I love your specificity. Or should I start looking for another job in my profession right now? Okay. First question, can your side hustle cover the bills? It would require probably more work than you want at present, but let's look at I'm going to separate it into 3 months at a time. So you mentioned within a year, but I'll just do last 3 of this year, then 3, 6, 9, 12. I think it needs to be augmented. I'll read the cards exactly as they are. So 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords for this period. There's not enough action happening at present with the current trajectory and the approach that you're taking. I actually think you're going to have a good January, February, and March. It might be hard to keep up with demand. It evens off a little bit in April, May, and June, but then something shifts for you. Death and Judgment. These are like, there may be a way for you to reorganize this or do something different, or you're just clear like in its current form, no, but if I change it up, yes. So I feel like restructuring might be necessary if you go down this path. I can't see past 6 to 9 months. The first part of next year is better than even the end of this year. So from January to June, it looks good. From now to the end of this year, it's a little tricky. And then for the end of next year, it's a little tricky. So probably finding something as the main breadwinning thing would be a good idea. And then this can be something that you develop over time. Let's just look at 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You probably are noticing a trend when I look at businesses. The first couple of years are the most difficult. And so you're just breaking even right now. And then it's still in that sort of teeter-totter energy. And then around the 3rd year, it takes off. So it's an eventually, yes, you can do it, but you need something in the interim to kind of help pad it out so that you're not, you're calling it your side hustle. So give it up to 3 years. Year 2, the tide starts to turn. I know that's longer than you want. The other thing I mentioned was reorganizing. So trying some different things, some different approaches. And if I can pull one card for that, more with marketing, digital marketing, traditional marketing, people need to hear about it. Get your voice and your face out there a little bit more. Okay. Shreya. I'm pretty sure that's Shreya. Okay, so Shreya, hello, Nicholas. I missed part 1. Here's my question, seeking guidance from you in part 2. I have been trying for a long time for my job, but it's not happening yet. So not sure why. Okay, so that's the first thing. Why isn't it happening? 6 of Pentacles in reverse. There could just be a lack of budget in some places where they don't have basically the facilities, the money, the headcount to make something happen right now. So it's a timing card. Is there anything specifically that you're putting out that is impeding upon this? I just feel like it's the wrong time right now for this particular type of work. And let me see, would it help if you geographically tried something different? It could. You have to counter in the cost of moving. Is there anything in your thought process that is bringing in that devil energy? So the other challenge is meeting a certain salary point. I think if you were willing to take a cut, which I'm never a fan of, then more options would open up. But there is a limit based on experience or salary. And And so that's something to think about. Let's just look at past, present, future and see where you're headed on this. I do think you can turn this around. I like that we have High Priestess and then the Dream Manifestation card here, or Wish Fulfillment card. So it does look like you can turn this around. You had specific questions. You said, which domain would be better for your job? AI, quantum, or a mix? AI, quantum is better. A mix could be good too. Quantum, leaning quantum. And I think that makes sense. The Hierophant in reverse can show that the structure isn't what it's meant to be, and that aligns with what I've heard with AI, that it may be hyped up a little bit. Quantum looks pretty good, and there's no reason you can't use the two together. So quantum or a little bit of quantum and AI. So I think we all have to learn how to work with AI, but just like the .com bubble burst, but look, the internet didn't go anywhere, it just evolved. But think about how much different it is now versus then. There are full-fledged applications on the phone, on the internet rather. Like you don't even need a downloaded app. You can just open up a web page and stream Netflix from the web page, or you can bank, or you can game directly from the browser itself. So it went from just serving up images and text to actual code and so I think AI is going to develop in a similar way. This is like a weird version of it, that it isn't really even AI. Large language models, we've talked about this. It's like, are we talking true AI or this weird LLM stuff? So I think there's still potential when it comes to actual AI, but the LLM stuff I think is on its way out or is going to get devalued a bit, so be mindful of that. That's just my own experience with it too. ChatGPT is not as smart as people think. It's super flawed. And it tells me one thing one minute and something else the other, so I just stop paying for it. And I don't trust it. I will maybe get it to look up some movie times, and then I still look it up because it'll tell me something's open when it's not. I'm like, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're right. So quantum looks a lot more exciting. It's the upright King of Pentacles. There's money, there's future there. And you can use a little bit of AI to explore, test models, but it's not something you want to lean into too much. Do you see any forced country movement in the cards? So do you have to move, is how I'm reading this? If and only if it is made easy for you to move. One thing that I found out after spending like 4 months getting a bunch of paperwork that now I've just put to the side, like visas are difficult and expensive to process. Background checks, all of it, it takes time. So unless the company wants to pay for it, I don't think you should do it. Would it be beneficial if you moved? Only if it's strategic. So they should help you and it should be strategic. So you don't have to force a move unless you're on a visa. For that, yeah, for the visa thing, if you're currently on a visa and you're worried about that, there may be someone that can bend the rules a little bit and get the status that you need, but you have to be mindful of that because there's a lot of clamping down on that. So I would err on the side of honesty when it comes to all visa paperwork. Only move if you're actually being supported by the company that's wanting to move you, and I would lean into the quantum stuff. Okay, hope that helped, Shreya. All right, Louisa Dang. Let's see. For part 2, could you tell me what is the current block that you are facing? You recently lost your mom. I'm so sorry for that. That is the hardest loss, right? And you're processing the grief, but is there anything else? Okay, Lisa. Past, present, future. So you're far more perceptive than you give yourself credit for. The High Priestess in the past is showing your ability to tune in, to see things, to often read a person, place, or an environment like lickety-split, but you don't always listen to that. And I would love for you to listen to it a little bit more. At present, I get going through the motions with the Five of Wands. If you are in a job, it feels like there might be leadership that's lacking. If you're in a relationship, there's more work going into it than fun. So we want to pull ourselves back a little bit from this, get a bird's eye view, and let other people show up. That's one of the things with the Five of Wands. You don't have to compete. You don't have to push. Let them do what they need to do. And I like to sometimes think of the Two of Swords as the best is yet to come. Sometimes Spirit doesn't want us to see everything laid out, but is there any pleasant surprises in the future? I think you're going to get the peace of mind that you're looking for. That's so weird. I heard something fall in the background. You're going to get the peace of mind that you need in the future here. Four of Swords is letting go, moving on. That's auspicious. What else? The Chariot in reverse. Some of you maybe also, I'm sorry, you might be also at this point where you're thinking, it would be nice for someone else to make the decisions. It just feels like you're exhausted. So I don't know if you can take a break. One thing I wish I had done in the grieving process was to take more of a vacation. I actually worked because I was more of a workaholic then. But like the day my mom passed, I came online, did a live stream, and then dealt with everything. Like now I would just say, guys, I got to deal with something. But I was younger then. You got to take care of yourself, and you're not good to anybody if you're still processing stuff. Let me just check in on the grief real quick. Okay. It's still fresh. The cards don't lie, right? Is there anything you need to do to make peace with this? It's going to ebb and flow. Don't be afraid. So here's one thing that when my mom passed, before she passed, I saw this exact archetype of an angel in a dream. It was the beginning of COVID. They had just announced that there was something happening, and we were in the beginnings of the pandemic. And I saw the procession of souls, and my mom was at the end of it. So I had a time marker. I'm like, when this is done, she's going to probably be transitioning. But then there was this sort of like, I wasn't afraid. She was afraid. So I knew I had to be strong. But then when she was gone, then I realized now I have to process all of this because I was strong for her. But I need to now I don't have to be strong for myself. You don't have to be strong for anybody right now. You can just let it go. You can process your mom has passed, and it will eventually become, think of what happens with a tree when a branch is cut. There's a knot that forms over it. It doesn't replace it. There may be new sprouts. It just creates a little bit of scar tissue, and it incorporates it into its whole. And that's what death is. You incorporate the loss and you grow around it, and it becomes a part of you. So allow yourself to incorporate the loss, not sweep it under the rug, not put a time marker on it. Know that one day it won't feel so raw and exposed, but it is right now. I've been through it and I understand it. And I understand the loss of a parent, specifically a mother. But that's the metaphor that Spirit's showing me, is a tree that's putting that protective bark around something that's been cut off by like lightning or something, or wind. You will heal. Give it time. Let me see if there's anything else. What is the current block that you're facing? Again, I got the Chariot in reverse. You can do anything you want to. It takes a little bit of time. Think about, like I've talked about this before, cranking a wheel. The bigger the vehicle, the longer the path, the longer it takes to turn. So just keep cranking at that wheel and know that you're making progress and turning in a new direction, but it feels like you might want to shift focus, shift paths. So take some time and sit with that. I don't think an easy answer will come through in this reading, but it feels like you might want to explore something different. What else? What more? That's kind of what I'm getting. Okay? All right. Thank you for that question. Crystal, how or where do I make friends that are mutually supportive? Well, that's a good question. Okay. Well, you can also... The first thing that comes through with Empress is you can organize things. So you can be a part of a group or organization. You can throw a party. You can be the one that invites people that you think you might connect with and, welcome them in like a mama hen. Mutually supportive. So let's look at what's going on. What's going on with classmates or coworkers, because I don't know your age. There's potential there. So wherever you work or study, that's a place. Any sort of faith or spiritual connections, also very good. Neighbors, not as good. I mean, feels like they're in their own worlds right now. And then let's see. just getting involved in general. That's the best, actually. So I feel like right now is a perfect time to get more involved in clubs, activities, or causes. We definitely have a lot of causes that need our attention right now in the world, whether it's the climate or protecting a marginalized group or fighting for equal rights, which is kind of going hand in hand with that, or or just trying to make it a better world for your children or grandchildren or the next generation. There's a lot of things that you can do cause oriented, and every little bit helps. So I think getting involved in something that inspires you and with people that have the same sort of desire to make it a better place, that's what I'm vibing with. And then throwing your own sort of parties or kind of like get-togethers. I don't really do that. So that I look at them like, I understand if there's hesitation, but that's kind of what the guides were pointing to. Be the instigator in the best possible way. All right, let me refresh this. I think I got to all of the questions here. I did. Thank goodness. Okay, so let me quickly look at, and then I'm going to turn on regular chat and I'm going to look at what's been going on here. But I want to first just make sure that all the members have gotten their questions answered. So give me a second. I'm going to refresh. See if anything's been held. There was one more, I think, that was held. So I got that. I think this one was held. So let me refresh one more time. Again, understand that there's just natural, it's like a net that YouTube puts out there and it just captures things that might be, troublesome. And I have to go in and approve it. And I don't always have time to go in and approve a bunch of things. So that's what happens sometimes. All right, so let's sort by newest first. Okay, so Fina Ray. Hello, and thank you for doing this. I had a question in the first meeting this afternoon, but it didn't get through. No worries. Glad it's here. I basically have 2 sets of cats. The first 3 I had, then I brought in another 2 sisters 2 years ago. Everything was fine until there was a major catastrophe at my house, and my 5 cats are in a 2-bedroom hotel for several. That sounds like a lot of people, a lot of energy. And the new cats have become aggressive with the older 3. Okay, this is a long question. I've been working with them over the last year to do everything that I can to reintroduce them, and nothing has worked yet. Okay, I've tried looking for a home for them and have not found one. So I'm wondering if there's anything else I can do. Or would the cats really be happier if I keep searching? Okay, I think I got it here. So can you get them to get along with the 3, or do you need to rehome them? I also wonder if there's something in me that needs to be learning from this. Okay, so lots and lots of questions. It gets to be too much if there's too many, so I need to just kind of bring it in and rein it into something that we can look at. So do the 2 cats, because it looks like there are 2, the 2 that are causing the trouble. However many cats are causing the trouble, we'll just leave it open-ended. So the cats that are aggressive, why are they aggressive? They're trying to assert their territory. So the strength card, strength in general is assertive energy. The reversal of this is a feeling of being threatened and having to establish assertiveness. I don't know enough about cats to know like if there's such a thing as an alpha cat. I've never heard that phrase, but there's too many and they all want to be the boss. I think that's part of the problem. These 2, would they like to stay? They like it. Yeah, it's a nice place. You give them a good home, even if it's a little chaotic at moment, like being in the hotel or whatever. But they love you. They like this energy. But can it work? You would need clear boundaries, clear communication. I think you probably are going to need to have like a behavioral specialist. They're not cheap. Apollo has separation anxiety, and I think I don't know, someone wanted to charge several $1,000s, and I'm like, no. I don't know, it was like $4,000 or $5,000. I thought, I don't have that kind of money. No, I'll just manage. I'll find other ways. So I know it's not cheap, but maybe there's someone who is, you could talk to your vet about this actually. I would talk to your vet. Clearer communication needs to happen. If you were to find them a good home, would that be better? Yes. I think that's the easiest for the reasons I just mentioned. So you get to vet the potential cat home and find someone who will truly love and appreciate them, and there will be less chaos. It is just territorial stuff going on. If you choose to go the route of therapy, it's going to be more costly, or like, behavioral therapy. It's more costly. And will it really make the change that you want? Sometimes they're still going to act up. Cats are cats. I've had one as a kid. So I do think the ACE was a very clear yes. If you can find a home for one or both of them, it would be good. Okay? I'm sorry too, because it's hard, but I know you love the other three, and it's sometimes when there's that many, it's better just to kind of like take out some of the chaos there. So, okay. I also wonder if there's something in you that needs to be learned from this. Good question. You just have a big heart. The 10 of Cups here, this is why you have so many cats. You see them, they're in need, you're like, I can make this work. And you did it out of love, but they don't want that many people in their family for whatever reason. So I guess in the future, do like, what do you call it? Foster. You could foster a cat and see if they are part of the pack or whatever it's called. Because that's the thing. The other three have a say in this. And what do the other three think? They're like, hell no. So if you love the other three, they've voted. And I think that's why there's also aggressive energy there. So it's too much. It's too much chaos. So it's better to find them a home, okay? And it's okay. You love them, they love you, and they're going to love you for helping them find a loving place. That was a lot of love. Okay. Hope that helped. Sometimes doing the right thing is the hard thing. That's the lesson here. You can love them and release them. Just find the home that feels good to you. Okay. So Vicky, I'm not angry, just stating that my question had not been answered. Don't worry about it. Like, I think one of them was repeated like 3 times. So I was like, whichever one was repeated 3 times, I'm like, I see it, I swear. Anything I need to know right now. Did I not answer it? Like, so was it not answered before? If I didn't, no, that was a different one. So it was another one that did 3 times. So for you, I don't know if I answered this one, but I'm answering it now just because we're almost at the end. What do you need to know right now? Okay. Also, if there's any advice for you as a single mom of 3, what do you need to know? Create better balance in your life. Justice in reverse shows that there's something that's a little bit out of balance. If I pull a clarifying card, it can actually be the money or the self-care. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're not overextending time, energy, money, or resources. And as a mom of 3 kids, how's she doing? It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's see. What do the kids think of you? You are the boss. We have the Queen of Swords. How are you feeling in this energy? Exhausted. So the self-care thing is the strongest here. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, enough exercise, and eating well. It could be your diet that's out of balance too, because the King of Pentacles can be what you're putting into your body. So make sure that there's no like fast food or caffeine or little things that we lean on sometimes because it's not helping you stay balanced energetically and from a diet perspective as well. Okay. And is there anything you can do to be the best mom possible? So you know this too. Children can and will take as much as you're willing to give. It is important to have healthy boundaries and also to say no. I know my parents said no to me a lot as a kid, not in a mean way, but just like, no, you need to do this, or no, we're going to do this instead, because that's part of parenting. So you can say no if you needed to hear that. That's what I got. But they love you. I see that. So you're doing a good job. And I'm not angry. And I'm glad you're not either. This is just a long time to be talking. All right. JA33998. Thank you, Nicholas. It helps. So I can't remember. Did I read for you already? I don't know. I'm just going to pull one card in case I haven't. Stress reduction is what the guides are bringing through for you, JA33998. How can you reduce your stress? Page of Wands in reverse is changing the mental channel, which can happen through reading, watching TV, just changing the channel to something else, not fixating so much on all the things that might be wrong, but maybe what you might be able to manifest. So unnecessary stress. Don't stress out so much. You've got this. And then Sash, I think I answered your question because it said you may have missed my question. I thought I said, I remember saying your name. So I'm 99% sure. Let me go through this and take a look. I did, because you asked about your mom. She passed away 25 years ago. I definitely got that one. And you got that too 11 minutes ago. But you said you may have missed my question, or perhaps I missed your reply. So it's in there. If you can't find it, I'll find it for you later. But I did mention your mom, I believe, on that one, and I hearted that. So thank you. If you got a heart, you got a reply. I'm going back through to make sure that these all got the hearts. All right. Apologies on repeating my question. Oh, you had a second one. Okay, because the first one was about your mom. Remember, this is one question only. I'm going to pause here because I'm learning with my own boundaries. Because this is a part 2, one for this, ask that question again next time, just because I can't I can't do more than 2, especially in this part 2. So thank you for that. Thank you for understanding, since I did answer one already. Ready now. My question is, what is to see what Spirit has for me in the next few months. Okay. A lot is going on. So simple, please, and thank you. Okay. Now, next month and the month after. It looks good. Hopefully this was worth the wait for you. So everything's moving. And sometimes when all these things are moving at once, it can be a little bit discombobulating. But you're on the right track. Just keep the needle moving forward each day. Try not to overextend yourself when you're going to all these different places at once, and just keep things moving. That's the main message here. There may be travel, and also you may be asked to jump on something and make it happen faster than you imagined. All right? But it looks good here. As I look at November, it's kind of like the magic touch there with the magician. Anything you put your energy into, you should see some movement. And then there might be something brand new coming through in December. A signature on a dotted line, an invitation, new idea, new opportunity. It looks pretty darn good. All right? So you wanted it kind of plain and simple, and that's what I got there. So you are very welcome. Thank you for the please and thank you. And one for the road, any general notes. You can let go of something if it's not providing what it needs to. A person, a place, a job, etc. Okay, it's not focusing. So if something is not giving you what you're putting into it, it's now time to ask for more or say no. Saying no is a big part of today, right? All right. And then I think it's just Jean or Jeannie with a bunch of X's before and after. So like XX Jean, XX. Okay. Catching the second wave, maybe. Yes, you did. It got hidden for a second, but I found it. Wondering so many things. All at the core of them at the core of all of them is, where are my people, and what's blocking me from finding them, other than work? Comfortable on my own, only child, been entertaining myself whole life, and live on my own, travel, etc. But I'm 40 now, looking and wondering. Okay, so it sounds like friends and more is kind of what you're wanting me to look at. So what's coming through with friendship? So in the area of friends, but not necessarily love, here's what I see. Right here, right now, we're looking at the next 3 months on this. There are more opportunities to make new friends than you might imagine. 3 of Wands showing like instantaneous manifestation, but it may not be in the place that you're at. So making sure that you're getting yourself in different environments, getting out of your comfort zone. And then it's probably someone that's not in your current friend group. 3 of Wands is someone coming into your life. The ships are coming towards you. We see the arrival or the preparation more in November. We have a couple of options here. Queen of Cups can be a friend or a love interest. And then the Page of Wands is probably more likely a friend. Both of these energies are good, and it feels like you'll be more primed to find them next month. You are busy. You're a busy person. 3 of Wands, 8 of Wands. So making ample time in your schedule for these interactions is key. And so where in particular for these two? 6 of Cups, social activities. Because we're going through a series of holidays, November doesn't have as many unless you're in the United States, but December has a bunch. Get out there and mix and mingle. I think you actually could meet a couple of people between November and December. More in November, but even if you're too busy or if you don't find the right connections, definitely in December. The thing for you is just having to push off some of the obligations and things from your schedule because there's a lot going on. All right, you asked another question, and it's about love. So we're going to look at this differently. Are you ready for love? You are. When will love come in? Not immediately. Part of this is, with the Four of Pentacles, we're looking for someone who's ready to give you what you need. So like right around New Year's, I think January is a better time for that. But in January, what kind of person are we looking at? So smart, because of the Hermit. King of Pentacles, career-oriented, maybe a little too career-oriented right now. Licking some wounds from a breakup. So I feel like the one thing that's happening right now is the processing of either a loss or a breakup. And it takes time to get past that. So your person, or the one that you're currently attracting, is recalibrating. And that's why January is a little bit better. If you don't want to wait that long, you can keep doing some work on yourself. So let's see, what can you do personally? Eight of Pentacles, take a class, learn something new. It's about knowledge expansion. And you don't have to do anything for like credit. It can just be for the heck of it. Learning a new language, learning a new skill. This can open up new engagements with different people. So that can help you get there faster. And then we don't have to wait for Mr. King of Pentacles in reverse. Also taking a trip or traveling. So those things can help you find them a little faster, because then you're finding an activity partner that may end up being a little bit more. Okay? Is there anything else on a soul level that you need to know? Just continue with the personal healing. When you are completely, as much as possible healed, then it's easy for someone to step into your life. Okay? Thanks for waiting. Let's see, Vicky. Can't remember if I answered yours already. Anything I need to know right now? Also, if there's any advice from... Oh, yeah, I did answer that one. Good. Okay. I just forgot to heart that one. Thanks so much. Your answer last reading helped so much. You've been trying to learn detachment for a year, and you did it for real. I'm so happy that helped out. All right. I think... Okay, no, there's a couple more here. 73 Sarah. I'm after guidance as to whether I should relocate in the next 12 months to be closer to my family. Okay, that's easy. Thank you for a clear and simple question. All right. Should you relocate? Yes or no? Yes, if you want to. And would you be happy being closer to your family? Yes, but there's going to be a lot going on in your life and theirs, so it'll be about finding a way to reintegrate. Will they be happy to have you there? Yes. You still have some karmic work. I think that's why you're going back. But it could be helpful for development, for also like they're going to see you as a different person. This is a recognition card. So it looks pretty good overall. Anything that you need to be cautious of? Queen of Wands in reverse comes through as maternal energy. It could be an aunt, could be a mom, could be an older sister, but it's bossy. So when you go back into your home, city, state, country, etc., and you're different, sometimes people still see you in the old mold. So, not feeling like you're going backwards when it comes to maturation. So just reminding people that you've got this. That's the only thing there. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. Right out of the gate, we got the King of Cups. I think you would be happy. Okay? Good luck with that, Sarah. All right. JA33998. Did I answer one already? It gets so confusing when it's all the letters. JA33. It looks like I did. You said, thank you, Nicholas. It helps. Yes, so I did answer that one. I think so. Advice on work and health. Okay, so I think I got that one. You were asking any advice on how to sleep enough? So that's just a good question, too, for everybody. But... So the Justice card is about balance, finding what the right balance is for you. If I had to think for myself, 7? I can get by on 5 or 6. I like 7 or 8. And if I go to 9, 10, or 11, I feel like I've just overslept. Unless I'm really exhausted and run myself ragged or do a long session like this, and I may enjoy a 10 to 12 hour rest. But on a normal night, I know what I need. And I know I can't do less than 5 or I'm going to not be okay. So find your balance and stick with it. Exercise can help getting fatigued enough before sleep and then just putting it all down. Don't allow the blue light from your devices to be close to you. So exercise and exhaustion, and then keeping with that time. 10 o'clock is a good time. As I'm looking at the clock, that's a good time to go to sleep because it gives you enough time to rest and still get up at an early hour. Nine of Wands in reverse also. I'm getting with this one more like what goes on in your head, the busy thoughts. So if you don't look at the clock, dim it if you need to, or just turn it away and focus instead. Like sometimes I'll play music or just breathe, or if you want to watch something and put it on a sleep timer, that's fine. But if you just push yourself too much, then it's like, okay. Sometimes if I'm awake, I'm like, well, tomorrow I'll get more sleep. I'm not tired tonight. So balance it as much as you can and don't beat yourself up otherwise. All right, I think. Okay, one more. CB9900S. These usernames are crazy that YouTube puts out now. All right, CB9900s. What will be the best financial abundance and mental? What will offer me the best financial abundance and mental stability? Create more of my own performance projects. Question 1, it's not yet. Number 2, audition for bigger roles in film or Broadway. Podcasting. Video reactions. Okay, so video reactions looks pretty good. Podcasting looks pretty good. When you're asking the first one, performance projects, I just feel like there may need to be more. It's lacking either substance or like structure. How are you going to get it there? There's something that isn't fully fleshed out. So not yet on that one. The Devil's a pretty clear no. It's more challenge than it's worth. So with each progressive question, it got better. For the roles that you were asking, audition for roles on film and Broadway. The latter part of next year looks better. So Q3 and 4, so the last 3 quarters to last quarter of next year. So that would be like July onward. July through December looks good for that. So yes, but it's in the future. And so in the meantime, I would balance your last 2 with reactions being pretty good. Here's the interesting thing with video essays or reactions. If you're doing a reaction video, you have to just make sure that you clear the content. I don't do reactions for that reason, but there you go. So yes on the last 2, and continue to work on the auditions, and towards the middle of next year, it could be in production. That doesn't mean that you might not have something happen before then, but 10 of Pentacles and the Emperor look pretty good for the latter part of next year on that. Okay, good luck. Elizabeth Soul. Your question today, do I need to be as germophobic as I am with my apartment complex, specifically the ground? Okay, that's the one question. Do you need to be so germophobic? I mean, I feel like you're fine. I don't think you need to be as germophobic. The King of Pentacles tells me you're okay. Like, a better way for me to look at this is, do you live in a dirty complex? No, but I think you could take it back, pull it back by 10%. Like, I think you're going overboard. And what's going on with the ground? It's not as bad as you think. So I love that you're keeping a tidy home. The King of Pentacles represents house and home. But don't do any more. Do a little less. And by the way, I have a dog who is all over the city. I clean him up as best as I can, but I've actually read studies where sometimes being exposed kind of like helps your immune system. So I don't worry about it. I think I've actually been healthier since I've had the dog, and I don't have allergies to him. And he exposes me to more, allergens, and I'm actually usually better. So aside from this, which has nothing to do with that, it has to do with the CPAP that I was using. But, I think you're probably overreacting on that. So don't feel like you have to keep doing it. Only if there's someone sick, then you can do a little bit more. Okay, so that was that. For context, I am severely depressed and showers are not a thing. Got it. Okay. I need general life guidance. All right. So, like I said, I think you're okay for the most part with this. Don't go any more into that. And if you can't help it, then that's something to talk to a professional about because sometimes it goes beyond common sense. Um, oh, you were looking at mold. Is there mold there? So I think I've been, I've had mold before. Mold's everywhere. No one wants to hear that, myself included. But you open a window, you walk out, mold's everywhere. So what you want to do for mold, use white distilled vinegar, and you can clean a surface with that like once a week. Or you can keep a little spray bottle in your shower and use that to spray it down afterwards. It doesn't hurt surfaces for the most part. And maybe once a week, you can use some of that where you think there might be more. And then just keeping it clean is the key. As long as you are cleaning surfaces once a week, you don't have to do it every day. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. Once a week is fine. Okay? That's the ace, once. All right, and let's see if there's anything else here. I need life guidance. Someone actually offered to help me tomorrow, but I don't know how to best utilize them. All right, so can you trust the person that wants to lend help? Yeah, you can. How can you, instead of utilize them, how can they help you or how can you embrace this? Let them know what you need. The Three of Wands is a visionary. They're standing at the cliff. They're looking at the future. I want this, I need this, or this is what I need some information on. So you can set the stage and kind of do that. You can also ask them what they think. Like if it's something that you're talking about in particular, they come through with great insights. So have a couple questions, see where they take it. Don't resist. They look pretty good. Is there any motive? No, this person's actually just pretty good. A high priestess, they like to come in and help someone. So there's just a helping vibe that I get from this, okay? So it looks pretty good to me. High priestess can be a little persuasive. If you don't want to do something, don't. That's my one piece of advice or warning. All right, I'm scrolling through. I think I got them all. Okay. Let me take a look at chat now. I have to also call it, like, no new questions from members. Anything new has to come through in the next reading. So don't post any new ones at this point. We are closed. All right, so let me take a look here at the general chat and see if I missed anything. And I might open it up for a second here just to say hello to everybody. So hold on a second. Let me click edit. Let's see. Customization, or we'll go back to regular chat now. I love YouTube, but it's complicated sometimes. It should be easier to kind of go into all of these things and just be able to, like with a flick of a switch, turn something on or off. So I'm trying to find here who can. Oh, it's under customization. That's where it is. Okay. Subscribers. Custom. Anyone that's sat through this for the last 40 minutes or so can chat. That way, it's a reward. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. So in chat, I want to see if I missed anything. All right. And let me go to the supers so I don't miss it. So let's go to live chat. Let's go to fan funding. Okay. So ASPHTAR123. I don't know what you asked. Let me see if I go back to the beginning of this one and see if there was something that came through. So Aspathar123, if there's something that you want to put into chat as a question, go ahead and do it. Okay, so feeling kind of stuck and uninspired in my current short-term job. This is from Alexa. I can't read the rest because it's ... So you're stuck and you're uninspired in your current short-term assignment at work. What can you do to ensure that you check all of the listed goals? And let's see, all of the listed goals and as well as full completion by the end of March. Will it be good for my career? Okay, let's take a look. You're going to achieve what you've set out to achieve. So I have very favorable energy here coming through with recognition and hard work in the Three of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles showing me that you're probably 3/4 of the way done. and then we have a happy outcome at the deadline that you were asking about. Specifically in March, we have the Hierophant in reverse. There are some things that are rubber stamp approved where they're going to want it a certain time, a certain way, a certain shape, a certain form, and you're just going to do your best to do that for them. But overall, it looks really, really good. What can you do to ensure that you check it all off? Take a step back and don't rush. Ask intermittently, hey, can you take a look at this? Or I finished this, or here's an update. Provide interim updates without charging forward. When a night is reversed, they're not charging, they're reviewing. So review progress intermittently so that you can incorporate feedback all along, okay? Will it be good for your career? I already know it will because we had the Six of Cups. But yes, but I think the bigger question is what's next. The Two of Swords in reverse can show that there needs to be something that you're looking at beyond this. Yes, but what do you want to do? And maybe why did you initially sign up for this? Remind yourself of that and set it in there. What particularly might it open up if you're interested? Seven of Wands. Well, first of all, they're going to put more on your plate. So there could be a leadership role down the line for you. Part of leadership and this interim role is to make sure that you don't have to take on more than you need to. So work intelligently. Don't exhaust yourself. To that end, I need a lozenge. Okay. Let's see. Boo87 has my relationship. Is this situationship? With Javier ended. Okay. Has it ended? No, not yet. But it feels like it's a lot of work. The Nine of Wands is sometimes it feels like you're pulling eye teeth and you have to push to get one another to do what you want to do. So that's part of this. Is he planning on returning? Yeah. From what I can see, yes. Whatever my guides want me to know. Okay. Now we want to look at it from a different perspective here. What does Javier think of you? Sometimes he doesn't know what's going on in your head. Sometimes the relationship feels like it's a lot of effort. When it's good, it's really good. When it's challenging, it's really challenging. So he's trying to figure out if the good outweighs the not so good. And I think that sometimes it's hard to get to the real. So for both of you, if you can kind of go beneath the surface and be more vulnerable or more yourselves, that'll help out a little bit. Would this be good for you if he comes back? It's what you want. Can you make it work despite what I noticed? Only if honesty is a part of this. So I think that's the biggest challenge. You're more ready than he is. He has a hard time sometimes putting in the same level of effort. So only if he's willing to put in the effort. If you feel like it's not enough, don't move forward. But there's nothing, he's not a bad person. I just feel like he's not in the same headspace as you. Does that make sense? Good luck. And typically I only do one. I don't know if you were part of the first one, but just in case, because I don't remember. Part one, I told everyone just one. But since you went ahead and put a super sticker here. How is my work and finance looking until the end of this year? So work until the end of this year looks good. Finances also looks decent, but with the Knight of Swords in the reverse position, there may be an opportunity to go in there and trim the fat a little bit if there's too much spending. Slow down a little bit. That's the main thing, especially as we go into the gift-giving season here in the not too distant future. Okay, BizBuzz6. I don't think I saw a question on that one. So I'm just going to pull 3 cards when I don't see it, whatever needs to come through. You're in a good moment in your life right now. Queen of Cups, enhanced creativity, sensitivity, possibly some new relationships or partnerships. The Sun and the World are really positive. So this is the karmic energy that you're bringing forth. It feels like you've done a lot of inner developmental work, inner child healing. The World card is encouraging you to get out of your comfort zone, to try some new things. It's a perfect time to travel. And if there's something that you've been holding on to, now is the time to put it out into the world and let it go, let it be. You've birthed this, okay? And I'm going to do this for like another 20 minutes and I need to rest because I also have to do the daily. So I will say at this point, pause so that I can catch up. I'm going to pin that comment. Please pause so I can catch up. And let me just double check and make sure I didn't miss anything over here. No, I didn't. Okay. All right, so the next one here is from Julie Davis 9052. Is the guy that I'm dating being genuine about his intentions? Is he going to be able to make time to build a relationship? Okay. Is he genuine? He keeps to himself. What does he think about you? Yes, I think he is genuine. I think that he has a hard time expressing himself. He's been thinking about marriage and partnership. I think he's ready to take the next step, but he's also a little scared. So the star and the hermit are compatible. The hermit holds the star's lantern, and the star is the sort of like ultimate arc of the hermit. But sometimes he gets a little scared in the intensity of the relationship. It's good. I feel like he's a good person. What does he want from you? Just a fair and even relationship. I feel like it's okay. I'm not getting anything really negative here. So if you also feel that same sense of partnership, just know he's a little shy. He's not always going to put everything out on the table. But I do think he's ready to move on, and I do think he wants a family, or at least a stable relationship, because the Ten of Pentacles could be either of those. It's good. There was nothing here that looked problematic, so good luck. Aside from your posted question, just loads of thanks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Heather. Okay. Lynn, I don't see an attached question. Again, I'm viewing just the sticker contribution, so you got to put it with the sticker. Just for the sake of time, and because I can't go through all of the old chat because it disappears, I can see certain things, but not everything. I'm just going to pull 3 for Lynn Champ 9557. I can't remember if this is just a tip or if it's something new, but here's what I see. Okay, quick advice based on this contribution. 4 of Cups. There's more than meets the eye. There's opportunities that are waiting. It is important to look for any blessings, even if you've been blocked or if you've experienced a setback. King of Wands in reverse. Sometimes we think too straight and narrow, and there's many more things that might be opening up to you if you're ready. Open your heart, open your mind, and know that it can be easier if you want it to. 6 of Pentacles. Newfound balance is on the way, ostensibly by the end of the year. It takes time for balance to stabilize, just like if you see 2 scales. And that's what I'm being shown as the stabilization. It should happen by the end of the year. So try not to rock the boat too much in December. Just let things settle a bit. Okay? Pretty specific, actually. Thank you. Helen CB1HU. Feels like it's decision time for you. Justice in the center, like in the now energy, is about what's next. So it's really important for you to define and decide what it is that you want to do next. I think you've done a lot of work on healing the heart. I feel like you're very ready to receive. This is like the king or the highest card in the suit of cups. So whatever it is that you want to bring in, you're ready. You just have to decide, I am ready for this. And interestingly enough, I feel like you're ready to manifest something, whether it's relationships, a project, something cool that you've been wanting to do. But then there's like this climactic moment where you're like, now what? I'd love for you to spend some time between now and the end of the year mapping out the next steps in love, life, and relationships, whatever it is you're trying to do. Because it could far surpass your expectations. So dream a little bit and keep me posted. All right, Suzanne M. Ox 3372. Looks like something got lost last time, so Is there a message from my guides? So much turmoil right now. Need help. Okay, Suzanne. Well, we'll take a deep breath and we'll see what's coming through. And what's going on with all of this turmoil? Don't give up hope. That's actually what the card is showing there. It's time to call back all the lost parts of yourself. This is the hardest thing sometimes when you're in the throes of a difficult situation. We give away pieces of ourself to worry, to fear, to doubt, to uncertainty. And this card is saying, let's reclaim all of those lost pieces and really focus on knowing, believing, and creating something different in your life. I looked at past, present, and future. What I see here is you're a deep, deep thinker. Sometimes it's a credit to you. Sometimes it creates that sort of Nine of Swords energy where you worry too much about what isn't going to happen. Queen of Cups energy, highly receptive in the present position. When we stop putting the energy into the thoughts and just open ourselves up, I'm ready for this. I'm done with that. Like these decisive statements. It can be a combination of the two. I release this so I can receive this. Then you start to reset things in a nice way. Fear, unknown, the road less traveled, trust. The moon represents all of those things. And I think those are starting to weigh more heavily on you, Suzanne. Let's see, do you have anything to be really, truly afraid of? Let's see. Not really with the Sun card, but it is visibility. Being out there front and center can be a little scary. How can you amp up the receptive energy of the Queen of Cups? Creating a new structure or habit in your life. Why do you tend to overthink? You worry a lot about what other people think about you, and you want to be loved and accepted like all of us do. All right, so here's the good thing. I'm not really seeing it in those, I'm not seeing anything specific, let's put it that way. I'm going to look at a different deck here, and I'm going to say, health, wealth, love, destiny. Where is it that the block exists? Wealth, love. So mostly health. It is the worry of, this is wanting to fit in so much, people pleasing, and worrying too much about what others are projecting, thinking, feeling, etc. So I would say the healthy thing here is to disconnect a little bit from these larger groups of people that may be making you feel those things. In love and relationships, you can lead, but you don't want to push, and you want to just kind of be open, be passionate, be present, and if someone is meant to come into the picture, they will. The Destiny card's interesting because it's seeking recognition. I think the main thing that you want to do in this moment in time is just keep doing the great level of work that you're doing, because Three of Pentacles is something good. Typically, the recognition happens down the line, but here we see it could take a while for that. So sometimes it feels like you're leading the trend here, and you don't always get recognized in real time. So do what's right because it's right, not because it's popular. That's kind of what I'm getting there. And then one last thing, we're going to pull an oracle card. What do your guides want you to know? Hope this helps. I lovingly accept myself. That's the hardest thing that any of us have to do, is to kind of work on that self-acceptance. But love and accept yourself. That can help open some doors for you. I generally saw cards that were favorable. To me, that's auspicious, and that tells me that it's going to turn around if it hasn't yet. So keep up the faith. All right, moving onward to Hearts for Healing. Thank you again for spending so much time with us today. You saw us so well. Thank you. I had my daughter watch after I heard the reading. Well, thank you. No, when calling out the sass. I wasn't trying to be mean, by the way. But yeah, I'm glad that the character read was appropriate, but I'm sure she's lovely. That was just, it's what the card said. They don't lie. All right, B-Loom 7 or Bloom 7, past, present, future card for you. All right, so there's some fear and anxiety around the future. The devil in the future state doesn't mean something bad is going to happen per se. It means that there's a lack of feeling like you're in control over the future. It looks like the thing that's leading into the devil for you could be around trusting in relationships. Let's see if the devil, if it warrants that fear. So can you trust the people around you? Well, the one person that comes in the strongest is this Queen of Pentacles energy. So yes, in particular, the Queen of Pentacles. If it's a love relationship, can you trust that person? That person is distant. So there might be someone, here's the interesting thing. If there's someone exiting from your life, let them go. The devil tries to hold on, the Six of Swords lets them leave. So whatever is exiting, person, place, or thing, so be it. Devil in reverse is something that you can resist. You can resist the devil too, but the devil in reverse in particular, because you see it coming a mile away, sometimes it's closest to us. It can be a close friend or family member that you can't help sometimes too. They have to come to you and be ready and willing to help. So there's a maturity thing here. And in the past here, again, with the overthinking, I think when it comes to partnership in particular, there's only so much work you can do. And there is a point where it's sort of like things have played out. So it does feel like there's either a friend or a love interest that may be naturally exiting, and that's okay. It's going to make room for the Six of Cups, which is something better, okay? And if we just take the relationship vibe out, is there one last thing that you need to know? Clarity. What is it that you want to do? The universe needs specificity and clarity from us in order to help align us to a synchronicity faster. You can still do it if you're confused, but it takes longer. So take some time to get clear on your goals. It will help you out, okay? Thank you, Bloom, or B-Loom. Okay, Nicole Marquez. I'm going to pull a couple cards for you. What do you need to see right now? So the first message here is don't underestimate your strength, power, or influence. Also, you might be holding on to someone or something longer than you need to. It's time to move on. It's time to move out. It's time to move up. It's hard to let go of things, but oftentimes there's something equal or greater to what we experienced. And that's your mantra in the week ahead. I'm ready for something equal to or greater than what I've experienced before, in the form of like love, joy, and opportunity, not the bad stuff. Okay, I hope that helped. Thank you to everybody that's gifting stuff. I'll talk to you at the very end. Okay, JA33998. I don't know if I read for that. There's been so many of these long number ones. I can't remember those as easy as a name. But since you put it in the chat, let's see. Oh, wow. No matter what, it probably warranted a second spread here. Changes are happening for a reason. There is something in your life that needs to be released. It can also be a habit or a way of thinking. Present, right now, the best thing that you can do is embrace this. So I like to refer to the reverse tower as a surfing analogy. If you surf the energy of that wave of change just right, you can land on your feet, on the shore, and you weren't like, you didn't crash in the wave, wipe out, right? That's what it's called. So we need to embrace the necessary change right now. Things are going to be fine. There's something difficult leaving. There's something better awaiting. This is change for a cleansing and clearing reason, and it's good, and it will be better. What next? What do you want to do next? Put the energy into that. That's where the focus should be, okay? Lyria? Anything I need to know right now? And I must stop at 11 or you won't get your daily. So please, at this point, I would just say, yeah, I think you guys have paused, so that's good. But I'm going to just pin it so that we can look at that. Okay, anything that I need to know right now? What do you need to know, Lyria Rhea? You have been making very positive strides in this moment in time. The Chariot upright, it hasn't come upright very often tonight. It did come upright for you. I like the last turn or change or move or step that you made. It's creating a firm foundation, one that is worth the work that you put in. Now you can slow down, especially as we get into the energy of like December. Slow down long enough to get tactical, practical, and clear on what the next step is going to be in your life. It'll take a little bit longer to accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to do than you think, but it will be worth it. There's a lot going on beneath the surface, and the act of creation is often that way. So know that just because you don't see it right now doesn't mean that there aren't sort of like this web of opportunity that's starting to unravel or reveal itself to you. Okay? Hope that helps. Jeannie Hart, good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Past, present, future for you. What's coming through? Okay. So you just got through something big here with the Fool, taking a step into something or away from something, or trusting yourself a little bit more, because it's almost a trust fall in this illustration. Know that that step is a good step and it will get better, especially as we look at the future. The now of this spread is a little challenging. Five of Pentacles, I feel like you know what you need to do and how you want to do it, but there's a little bit of self-confidence from the past where maybe you were burned or rejected or it didn't work out the way you wanted to. And that is the past. And this card is saying, leave it in the past. Don't accept less than your worth in current engagements. Make sure that you're getting equal respect, reciprocity, equal pay, all of that jazz. And don't be afraid to speak up. You have great ideas and you're bringing a lot to the equation, as evidenced by the Empress in reverse. It's hard sometimes to step into a position of power or to speak up, but now is the time to do just that. Okay, you're headed in a good direction, but it's a challenging moment right now, so don't give up the faith. Okay, and then I think we have one last one from Jocelyn, NC. Hi, Nicholas. I'm a Cappy with a Virgo rising and Leo moon. What do you see next for me in my career? I've been at my job almost for 2 years, and should I leave? Good question. Let's see. You know, you've accomplished most of what you set out to do, which is amazing. Should you stay? You're staying for the people. Should you go? You don't know what's next. So I feel like it's time, but you have to figure out what goes beyond that. Get the next chapter sort of like created. What are you focusing your energy on? What do you need to go into next? That's going to help quite a bit, because there is just a little bit of fear over, the next step in this. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else that you need to know. What else did you write here? 4 years is a long time. Okay. What do they think of you really quick? They appreciate you. Are you happy there? It's okay. Until something better comes along, there's no rush, but it does feel like you might have reached a bit of a dead end, and it feels like you're there mostly for the people, not necessarily so much for the job. And that's okay. There's different reasons to be in a place. In this current climate, wait until you have something better, but there's no rush. And I think we just reached everything. We're done. Let's take a couple moments just to chat here. I'm also noticing that there's only like 75 people watching, but there was so much engagement tonight. It was nice. And it looks like there was over 800 people that stopped in at one point. So I do appreciate that. I have to kind of look at these and see if they're worth the time and energy, but I feel like you guys enjoy it. And I've structured it differently tonight. I think turning on and off the general chat helped so that I could get caught up and focus on members at a certain point rather than the endless amount of super chats that come in. So I see we got one last one. This will be my last for tonight. So this is Lisette, 33 months of membership. Thank you. You're a Libra. Will you ever get married? Yes. Find someone, etc. So let's look. What do you need to do the work to make this happen? Part of it is just really focusing on healing your heart, feeling whole, not feeling disgruntled or worried about if or when someone's coming into your life. Show me the when. 3 months, possibly in the next 3 months. At months 3 and 3, 6, 9, 3 and 9, I'm seeing like an opening. So in the winter and in the summer, those are good times for you. And towards the end of the year, you should already be in one. So yes, if you're ready. And is there anything that you need to do to kind of align to that a little bit more? So the Three of Cups in reverse can just simply be about seeking out new groups, but nobody that's a clique. So if there's some group that you want to be a part of, but they're too selective or too picky, you don't need to succumb to that. Three of Cups in reverse is also about just taking your time and not feeling like it has to lead anywhere. It could just be a date or a meeting. And then there's less pressure on the whole courtship thing, because sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes you just text someone and you're like, no, this isn't gonna go anywhere. So there's different levels of engagement. Open yourself up to all the different levels and know that you'll find that proper cadence. Okay. All right. I think I got everyone. If anyone was missed, I'll kind of like put a comment and we'll try to do something in the next reading. But no, I do my best. I think everybody that's paid, let me just make sure before, if I missed you, now is your chance in the live chat to say something. Okay? All right, so let me clear this off, unpin the message. All right, so there we go. I think I got everybody, but if put a little star and put your, like, if you've asked a question and it was missed, let me know. But otherwise, I got to do your daily for tomorrow. Okay. So a couple quick notes here. I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up, and I didn't get a chance to do this earlier because I had to run across town. So today, I noticed, besides everyone that I answered questions for, that there was some new members. Nioki, thank you for joining. CB9900S, thank you. BizBuzz, Quiet Gentle Vibes, Andrea. Let's see, Rajal, and there was a whole lot of other parts of this. Thank you. Testimonia or whatever, thank you as well. Ali518. There was some gifted memberships from Finare, I forget how you say that, but thank you. Miss Joy, thank you for gifting a membership as well. Thanks to everybody that just gave back a little bit extra without a question. You guys rock. And I think I got everyone. Okay, missed your question. I just saw it. What qualities and energy will define my connection with my distant partner? Okay, so let's look at this real quick. Which qualities and energies will define your connection? So what do you need to work on to attract the partner? What are they going to be looking at? All right, so one thing to work on releasing, this is something that you don't need, is stress or anxiety. And it makes sense. Today when I was bringing my dog to the doctor, he was shaking the whole time because he could feel that I was nervous because there are some things going on. And I was like, it's okay, buddy, it's okay. So just calming yourself down and not stressing about things and being in a more neutral space is more inviting, because it's kind of cool how they illustrated this. We send out these vibes when we're in a state of stress or distressed. So the Eight of Cups, this is you maybe returning back to some of the things that you loved most when you were younger, finding that sort of youthful connection to your passions, to your joy. And it's a commitment card too. So one thing that's interesting with this, when we're looking at dating or commitment, this is something that is intermittent. It's on and off. So what you could work on is being consistent in anything that you do, whether it's an exercise routine, changing up your cooking habits, calling a certain person at a certain time, learning something new, making time to practice it every day. The consistency is good. The sort of like evenness of the temperament is good. And then the Knight of Wands, this is just passion and fun. Being able to dance, laugh, have a good time, and express yourself, showing it, not necessarily just telling it. So you show someone through being affectionate, being, open, body language. But let's look at this from an oracle card perspective as well. I actually feel like you're doing pretty good. This is the only card that was like needs a little bit of work, was the Nine of Swords. So what will the future partner notice about you? The other thing here is your ability to be kind, gentle, to lead with respect, and just to kind of have this, like, it's your manners and the way that you carry yourself. So I don't think you have to change much. Is there anything you need to work on to attract this partner? So we have here Strength card coming through. No, I don't think so, other than leave room for them. So the Strength card, because it did come through reversed, can sometimes be coming on too strong or trying to get someone to do something before they're ready. So there's a lot of like gentle, mild, neutral energy that's coming forth in this. And I think leaning into that could be very beneficial. Is there anything else that you need to know about this? That it's safe to love now. A lot of times we're worried or burned from the past, or we start to have a self-fulfilling thought, which is it's never going to happen. So just release that and release the pain. And I think you're actually tracking pretty good. Is there anything you need to do for the long-term relationship? Just open yourself up to hear and see it from another person's perspective. The hardest part of being in a relationship is feeling and thinking that you're right. Maybe knowing that you're right sometimes, but the other person is not in agreement with you on that. So it's allowing yourself to just hear and maybe not comment, and then come back later and say you thought about it. And then if they're willing to listen, like just to take things in sometimes is really, really important. But overall, these were good cards, and I think you're actually tracking pretty well. Don't stress so much. That's the one thing that I saw there, okay? All right, friends, I think we're going to wrap it up here at this point. I think I got everybody. Let's see, was there any stars that I missed or anything? No. So for the ones that did stars, did I miss you? Is that what happened? Like you put in a chat and it didn't happen? Okay, let me just quickly, I do really need to wrap up, guys, but I will look at these ones that with the stars only, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay. So one is from Kendra. Will my relationship work out with Ty, or should I relocate? Okay. Will it work out with Ty? I don't think Ty is ready with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. But let me see. What does Ty think about you? No. It's time to move on. This was pretty clear. Mostly because he has a hard time, or they have a hard time coming through. Four of Pentacles is someone that can't give you what you want. The Death card shows me that things have moved in a new direction. So that was pretty clear on that one. I'm just going to pull one card for the jobs or finances. King of Swords. I actually feel like you're going to land on your feet with respect to that. The only challenge could be in the title that you're looking for. So there may be a job where the pay is what you want, but the title isn't, or the title is, but the pay isn't. So there's a little bit of a trade-off, and you'll have to think if that's good for you. But the tie thing was super clear for me. It's not the right thing right now. Okay. So we do one a piece, and so I'm going to cut it at that, just because there's all these multi-parts, unless it was all part of that. So let me just see if I can get through everything else. So I focused on Ty and the job, and I really did say one question per person per reading, and a lot of these questions are like 5 parts, which is why it takes a while. So I have to occasionally pump the brakes and say that's good on that one. And then another one from Nicole. Question was about upcoming second job interview. Is it right? Is it the right fit? If so, how do I land it? Okay. So for Nicole, is this the right fit? It's the right fit. Will you land it without having to worry about this? You will. You don't need to worry about this. What do you need to focus on the interview? Okay, so for the King of Wands, they may want to kind of like milk your creative process a little bit, pick at your brain a bit. Listen to them. Let them say what they need to say. Come forth with like a really insightful question. The King of Wands in reverse is not going to say it has to be done this way. You could actually form it in a question. Have you thought about this? I've read this. This is how I would do it. You could say, why haven't you explored this yet? I would be curious to do that if I was in this position. You could kind of go about it that way so that you're not stepping in with too much cockiness, I guess. But don't get in your headspace. You're going to find the right words in the right way, and just show the engagement. Trust yourself. You don't need me on this one with the Ace of Cups and the High Priestess. I think as long as you don't overthink it and you listen, you're going to be okay on this interview. You're fine. Okay. Amitabha, you're welcome. Thank you. Let's see. Any other stars that I missed? No. All right, because I'm caught up on that last one, what was the other one? You were looking at a relocation. I'm going to be very nice even though I'm exhausted. Missed question, will my relationship... Okay, we got that one. And upcoming job... we got that one. Okay. I thought there was something about relocate from Texas to California. Oh, with the relocation, just don't underestimate how much this might take, time, energy, and money. Make sure that you're looking into all of that. And with the new job and finances, I do think you're going to be fine. The Nine of Wands in reverse, it's a little bit of work. This whole thing will take a little bit more work than you might expect. Okay. I even answered the extra one that I said I wasn't going to do. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, give me a follow on social media. Share the love there. Like and subscribe. Let other people know that I do videos like this, plus my other ones. There's a share button beneath the videos. Share it. Show the love. I appreciate it. If you watch this on replay and want to say thank you again, you can do it, but I don't take any questions after the live is done. And that's everything. I don't even think Apollo gave up. He's sleeping in the other room. So If you ever need more information about me, you can go to my official website. Thank you so much. We made it through. Thanks for allowing me to separate this into 2 parts. It's definitely easier on me. I didn't lose my voice. I did have to use a lozenge, but my voice stayed in shape. So 2-hour marathons are a little bit easier. Although I think this has now been 3 hours. How did that happen? All right, we're done for now. Take care, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good night. I appreciate you, and I hope we got all the answers that you needed and all the questions answered. All right, take care. Bye-bye.